Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
Cause 3 brave souls heading down to 80 South, edge of the world with frost on their mouth. Packing gear, prep for the cold quest. Will the sun sleep or spin? That's the test. Antarctic freeze, ain't no regular chill. Heartbeat sink at the end of the thrill. Suns dance, we tracking lights groove. Scientific mission, we got nothing to prove. Gonna test the sun where the world goes white. Will it set or circle through day and night? Explorers bound for the edge of the freeze. Antarctica's secret, we aim to seize. Rolling in a land where silence speaks loud. Wind whips fast, ice cracks proud. Courage in the chest, nerves wrapped tight. Chasing that sun in the endless night. While the rays bow down and dance around. South Pole secrets, truth unbound. Skeptics wait for the words we bring. Frozen lands where legends sing. 3 mad heroes in the southern scene. Tracking that glow where shadows lean. Frozen ground neath heavy tread. Searching for answers in the icy spread.
All right, what up, everyone? Welcome to the Jeranism Show. Should be a fun one today. Got some guests joining me. Thank you to John for providing that song. John, that was pretty dope. I don't think it was you that made it, though. I do think it was AI, but, you know, teach their own. Let me bring on these guys. We've got the 3 of us here. I think it's working. It's good there. All right, first we've got Austin Whitsitt. Austin, what's going on? How are you?
What's up, brother?
Another day, another dollar. Another day, another dollar. How about you?
You know, just living the dream.
It's good as can be expected. Awesome. And we've got Lisbeth Acosta below you. Oh, wait. Sorry about that logo on you. That's not me.
Yeah.
That for you.
No worries. Hey, y'all.
Thank you for being here. Do appreciate it. And then we've got Mark Herman's going to be joining us in about, I don't know, probably 45 minutes or so. And if people don't know who he is Candace Owens's producer, who's also going to be going on the trip. So he wanted to stop by and say hello to everybody. So let's use in the chat. What's up, Sue Finelli? Tony Coriel's in the house. Mojo Shop. Stephanie's here. Thank you guys for being here. So if you guys do have any questions, you can write something in the super chat if you want, or just in the chat. We'll be looking for questions if you have any. But really, we just wanted touch bases with you guys, let you know that we are still planning on going. That is the rumor. I haven't heard of any world war coming up or anything like that. And that's our plan. So you guys feeling ready?
The aliens are gonna come right before we take off.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That'll be the alien
You
invasion.
You heard about all the UFOs everywhere?
Yeah, I
They're
actually
on
saw
the
some
UFOs.
videos. Somebody sent me a couple videos. It looked a little more legit than normal, but
They're just everywhere.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. Did you hear about that one guy who made that prediction?
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yeah, but I mean, people kind of phrase the prediction wrong. Like, he's clarified that it doesn't specify that this many days after the interview this will happen, but it does predict that Rogan will interview Trump, and that there's something to do with 39 days.
And how long ago was that made?
2009 or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's like people say he's a fraud, and I don't know.
Who says that?
Like that's the internet narrative is that
Oh, gotcha.
he claims to have these computers and these AIs and these algorithms and they make all these predictions in the spot that makes this prediction, but he really just kind of like bakes things into it and then changes it as he goes. Who knows?
Who knows? Have you heard the latest rumor about us? I don't know if you heard this one. It's a pretty good one. That we actually already filmed the 24-hour sun in the north in June, and this person went through our channels and found like dates that he couldn't find you or I. We didn't stream, so he's like, oh, between June, I'm trying to remember the dates, June 18th and June 21st or something. Everybody was radio silent, and then I went and looked. I was like, what's this guy talking about? I went and looked, and we did Glowbusters, both of us, on that Sunday. He just put it right in the middle.
I was on Discord all over then.
Probably.
Too.
No, we were all of us. Even before we met Lisbeth, we were all there with Tune as well. It's just all a big scam that we're doing.
But I mean, I've even heard like a narrative, like if we live stream, someone's like, live streams can be fixed. All right, bro. Like, what do you want us to do, bro?
Yeah, we could not. Yeah, somebody else said that. Like, I don't understand what holding the newspaper will do. Like, well, that's the best we could do. If we hold the newspaper in Punta Arenas and do a live stream from there saying, okay, here's the newspaper, look at the date, and then we go to Antarctica, and the next day we're surrounded by snow with a newspaper showing that it was yesterday's date. I guess it could be on a soundstage. So what are you going to do? I guess that's, we can't please everybody, but yeah. So I don't know. You excited, Lisbeth, or what do you think? What's your thoughts right now?
Oh, I have my own plans. I'm going rogue, finding the sky ice, and peace out, y'all.
Nice. Just without us? Just going to go off on your own?
I mean, I'm going to Admiral Bird it. I'm going to, bury my journal. Y'all can find it.
Your nephew will come out with it several years after your death. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, Mark Sargent's been talking about this memorial, so
Yeah, but I don't know. What the hell was going on with that, man? It was pissing me off. When she was on with Mark Sargent, he kept saying, like, we're going to have your guys' memorial on the 25th or 26th. Just
on the 24th, I was like,
the 24th.
Our poor loved ones.
Like, what is he talking about? Memorial like we died? He just kept saying that. Like, okay, Mark. All right. Is that better?
Thanks.
No? Yeah, no, it's not very nice. Man. People are saying you're not loud enough. Let me try and turn you up a little. How about there? Everybody, I guess. We'll try right there. Is that better? Let me know. 5 by? 5 by? 5 by?
Project.
Yeah, let me see. We'll get a little. Go ahead and talk, both of you, so we can see if somebody says it's not loud enough. Go ahead.
The Earth is flat.
There you go. Austin.
In a world.
There you go. Give us a 5 by. So, we also have a couple people gave me some, I don't know, cold weather tips. Thought we could cover those real quick or go over those. But Austin, you had a little crowdfunding thing you're doing. You want to tell people about that?
Yeah. I started a funding goal on Ko-fi for different little like equipment and like just money to have in case I have to pay for things because I'm not gonna be able to pay for it.
Right.
If there's any situation I need to pay for something while I'm there, we're in trouble. So
yes, I know the feeling.
But yeah, and then just like I put some of the stuff in there, but a tripod and then batteries and stuff for the camera that I thought I had that I don't have.
What don't you have?
That. Like I thought I had a bunch of P900 batteries, and I don't. I thought I had different lenses for it, and I don't. And then I tried to pull out a tripod I had, and it's broken. And then I thought I had some microphones, and they're like missing all kinds of stuff.
You're doing well.
So basically, after the tour, I don't know. I guess I just threw everything in like a box, and half of it's missing. So
People still saying it's too quiet.
I mean, do you have like microphones like that?
Yeah, I got the little clip-on ones. You mean? But I think it goes to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it goes to a camera. I think it plugs into your iPhone.
You can plug it into whatever, right?
I think it's got the iPhone jack. The little mini iPhone jack. I'll have to check them after. I'm gonna write a note where I do that. Check that.
Well, yeah. Anyway, that's what the stuff's for. Bunch of like.
So what is the? So they just go to Ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com / Witsit, or Witsit gets it.
Witsit.
WITSIT. So go there if you want to support him. We already funded my funding. If you do want to join us, because tomorrow, by the way, Saturday, we are going to have a little bit more of an intimate moment with these two. Oh, that didn't really sound right at all. But it's going to be more intimate with all of us. We're going to be doing the VIP hangout. That's 12 noon. We think. There might be something coming up. We don't know. But we think it's going to be 12 noon, 3 Pacific. Sorry, 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern time. That's tomorrow. If you want to join us, you can become a VIP. And then the VIPs are getting my chest cam footage the day I get back. So if you want to do that, you get all that for $15. You get to hang out with these guys on Saturday. And then we also do crypto class. You'll be able to, if you sign up right now, you can come to crypto class tonight at 6. We've got Dave Weiss coming by. He's going to talk a little bit about the Dome coin. And we've got Uncle Odd, if you guys remember Uncle Odd or Uncle Vigilante. He's coming by to talk about UNAs, oh boy, what are they called again? Unincorporated. Nonprofit associations, yes. So if you're interested in maybe some tax savings or some ideas that could help you, maybe an idea that the elite are using that you may not be using, come by crypto class tonight and you're going to learn about that. That's at 6 p.m. But you got to be a VIP. And to do that, go to WHOP.com, WHOP.com /Jeranism. And then you get all that stuff. So I wanted to point that out. So that's coming up tomorrow. And then no Glowbusters. We're done with Glowbusters until, I believe we're coming back January. I don't remember now what it was. Early in January. And we've got, what else going on? Anything else? No. Do you have anything going on this week? Are you going to do any streams or are you done? Austin, talking to you, sir.
Yeah, I might do a stream later tonight. And then
Okay.
I'll definitely do at least one stream before we leave, you know?
Yeah. Because Monday we have,
there was supposed to be a big show. It keeps getting changed around, so it's kind of like altering my plans.
Have you told anybody about that or no? I mean, the community doesn't know? Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if they knew.
No. I mean, people probably, there are definitely people in the community that do know, but no, I haven't like publicly said it or anything. So people are like hating. I'm like, bro, I am the one that tried to go this whole time without asking for like any GoFundMe or anything, bro. You guys can chill.
Are people hating on that? No, they don't. I mean, people also don't know that we had some issues with what the meaning of out of pocket expenses are and what the meaning of expenses are. We took it as meaning that if we needed to spend money that we otherwise wouldn't have, that was considered an expense for the trip. But
like I only created it last minute because I was trying to avoid doing it. And then someone was like, "Oh, so what's it's unprepared then?" You know, it's like sort of, yeah.
Well, yeah, all those
but
things.
I mean, not really. I mean, not really though. You know, like there's just a couple things that I thought, I don't know, like I didn't know my tripod was broken. I didn't know. I have no idea where those batteries are, but there's like a million different things that are all like that we have to think about and get.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
You know? And then it's like,
and it's also a lot scarier.
I named a couple things. So, he's just totally unprepared.
It's also a little bit scary when you're like, there's going to be no 7-Eleven down there. It's not going to be like, oh, we just need to pop over to Target and pick something up. I forgot these batteries. Let's go get one real quick. Or Dan the Waterman telling me, just ship things there. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like FedEx. You can just FedEx things there. I'm like, to Antarctica? Bro, what are you smoking? What are you smoking? You cannot FedEx things to Antarctica. Let's see. Anybody in the chat have any questions? Doesn't look like it. Can't bring solar panels because, well, the hardest part is, and this might be done on purpose, but I mean, they only let us have 55 pounds in the bag, and then I think it's 22 pounds in your carry-on. But that's it. And so if you're, I mean, like Duffy says he's bringing the, what is it, the Starlink base station or something. He says it's like 26 pounds. So he's already, down 26 pounds and only has, what does that leave him? 29.
I don't see how that even makes sense.
Yeah, I don't either. But then it does make sense. Like you could never then take a hydrogen alpha telescope because aren't those like, I think they're super heavy.
Unless you want to pay.
Well, it's $35 per pound.
Yeah.
That'll add up pretty quick. So luckily my solar tracker thing is only 11 pounds, so it's not too bad that I have to cut off there. Lisbeth, have you already weighed your stuff? Are you going to be good, huh?
No, I have not weighed my stuff, but I
You should be
was
able to make
practice
it.
packing. I had to go out to the sporting goods store actually last night because I got my ski layer in my exact size, which was silly because I didn't think about the previous layers. So luckily I did end up sizing up, so we're good there. And I feel pretty confident. I'm used to traveling and just like living abroad, so I'm pretty confident that it'll be okay. And if it's not okay, it'll still be okay.
We should be okay. I think so. Yeah, it's just you know, what are you gonna do? Have a bunch of socks. That's what I'm worried about is my feet and my hands.
It's funny to watch. It's funny watching like all these people
spiral,
like like freaking out about it, and like we're going. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just chilling, dude. I've throughout this process, I forgot we're going to Antarctica like 50 times. I've had like my wife be like, "Oh, you're leaving for Antarctica soon."
You're like, what?
Oh,
yeah, shit. That is gonna.
That's true. We're going to Antarctica or whatever. So, because I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna happen, what's gonna happen, and I've been through stuff like this too many times where it's
never ends up
over
happening.
Planning is irrelevant. It's just stupid. It doesn't ever happen the way you think it's gonna happen, and it doesn't matter. So,
no, I totally agree. I think that everybody's been freaking out about it, and we're kind of the ones that aren't. Now, granted, it's because we are going, but I just think it's important to get that data. So a lot of people have issues with that or don't understand the importance of that. I think we want to find out what's going on. That's the best way to go forward. It's hard to make a map. It's hard to discuss anything when we're not really sure exactly what the sun does in the south. So I could read those. Let me just read some cold weather tips. I don't know what you guys have. Now you've been in the cold, Lisbeth. You lived in the cold. You're used to that, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just Austin and I that are pussies. All right, good to know.
Well, I worked construction for like a year in Pennsylvania, and outside 12-hour shifts, and it was
it snowing?
Freezing. Yeah, all the time. It was freezing, and I was outside for 12 hours. So you know, it's what it is.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this person's name. Let me see. There is somebody who lives way up in Canada, and they're constantly dealing with this kind of weather. So she basically said, can I write you a list of things that you guys need to think about? And I was like, yeah, it can't hurt, so I'll read it. And then she wanted me to give it to you guys. I said, well, we'll read it at this show. So she says, remember these tips for cold weather. You won't need to use all of them. Layers, thinnest to thickest. It's like Duffy again. Thank you. We were going to wear the layers backwards if they wouldn't tell us that. Legs and feet. Start with underwear and thin, tight socks. Then over that, long johns or tights. Then regular pants, not jeans. They lock cold in. Then thicker socks. Some people tuck their pants into their socks so that the socks go over the pants. Then the snow pants and boots with toe warmers inside. Did you guys have any toe warmers? I do have some, but I don't know how many I can bring. I'll bring some extra if I can.
Someone did really insist that. Did you hear about this? That we have like a heating vest.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I'm like, I don't know if we can wear that. Can we wear that?
You probably could. Why wouldn't you be able to?
Oh, I don't know. Because every time clothes have come up, I've just heard that this notion that it's like.
No, you can bring whatever you want. I think.
SS officer, freaking, you know.
Must wear 3 layers. Must come into your hotel room. Must go through your bags.
We can only hope to look as fresh as the SS, though.
Yeah, you can't look that fresh. Bring toe warmers. I'm going to put that in my note here. I have toe warmers. I've got shoe warmers. They're like, you know, insoles that you put in your shoes, and then hand warmers, mostly for the equipment and for the batteries. But if you guys need them, I'll bring whatever. I don't get to 55 pounds, I'll fill the rest with those. All right.
Hot hands.
Can we?
Hot hands, yes. You have those?
What?
No, I was just saying, like, hot hands, you can get a multi-pack that is for the hands, for the feet, and yeah.
Perfect. So I've got a bunch of those.
Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, if you got extra weight, I would get some of that, or else I've got extra that I was going to not be able to pack, or don't need as many as I have, so.
All right, Kofi.com/Witsit. Although I think those are probably pretty cheap, huh?
They're pretty cheap.
I've already tapped out. Like when I started buying stuff, I'm like, dang, I didn't realize there's this many different things that I'm just like start adding up and buying all over the place. And it's like, bro, I got plenty of bills here.
That's why I did. That's why I did my crowdfunding, because I didn't want that to happen, and I figured at least it gives me a little slush fund.
Yeah. So it's like I would think that surely people aren't gonna like complain. I clearly actually tried to take one for the team. I can't. But yo, let's address this real fast.
Go ahead.
Jeran, Witsit, you brought it up. Jeran, Witsit, McKeegan, McTool, and Critical Think were radio silent from June 13th to the 18th, and also from June 29th to July 3rd.
June 13th to the 18th, and what? July what?
29th or June 29th to July 3rd.
June 29th.
They were in the Arctic filming the 24-hour sun for TFE. dude, brother man.
First of all, I know that.
Tell us what you want us to say while we're there right now. How about that? In the chat, say what you want me to say.
There you go.
You lose.
Yeah, you lose.
It's so easy to debunk. You guys sound schizophrenic, though. I want you to know that.
It sounds really, really, really pathetic. And then the guy's like, well, my take is that anybody along with Will Duffy is compromised. I'm like, well, my take is anyone going around throwing wild accusations that he didn't even research, that seems like you're compromised. If anything.
Schizophrenic.
June 29th through July 3rd. So Austin knows that I take every July 1st off because my mom's birthday is July 1st. And I know that because he hosts Glowbusters during that. So he definitely hosted Glowbusters, whatever that weekend was. I'm trying to remember do you remember what July 4th was? Like a Tuesday, maybe?
Well, I can just go look at these dates. I'm on Discord all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
Like every time I have to run errands, I'm in Discord. Oh, I was in Discord at the North Pole.
Yeah, that's it. You just logged in. And Lisbeth, too. So, Lisbeth, you better start coming up with an alibi for...
that's what I was going to say. You didn't mention her, but so she was there also.
She had to be, because she's going to be in the Antarctic footage, so...
And then the guy from Candace Owens Show was also there.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him if he was there.
And the brand new guy that we just met that's coming, he was also there.
We didn't just meet him. He's been here since July.
Dude, yeah, duh.
Oh boy,
goofy.
Jonathan Mariande. And by the way,
that wouldn't even work anyway because it would be a different location and a different. It wouldn't work.
No, because the sun was going the other way, but we just walked backwards the whole time, and you'll never even. We talked
in
backwards.
Reverse, and then we layered the landscape from Antarctica.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Really, anybody could do it.
And what happens when we live stream? If we're actually able to live stream. And so what we're gonna actually do, Jeran, is we're gonna fly to South America, and then we'll do live streams there.
Right.
But really, it's just to make everyone think we're really going on the trip right now, right?
Right.
Because we actually filmed it in July. Makes sense.
So we're just gonna fly down there and come back.
Yeah. No, we'll just hang out at the beach.
Okay. Cool. It is the summer down there, so very exciting. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, let's address that. I don't know why that person's going around and saying that to different groups, but I'm sure it's not true. If anybody just follows up, go look. Tune streams all the time. There's no way that guy took 5 days off.
Yeah, bro.
Come on, give me a break.
Although if it was a period that I was quiet,
well, maybe he didn't have content.
He didn't have anything to make content about.
Okay, so we got the boots. We read that one. Okay, make sure your boots are slightly bigger than your size to fit all the layers. I think we know that. But you do not want air pockets. Okay, this allows cold air to get trapped inside. Boots have a max temperature they can protect you from. Always assume less than what it says. All right, it's good to know. Torso and hands. Tight, thin, long sleeve, then t-shirt. If your snow pants are the ones that buckle up on your shoulders, I don't think you guys got those. Then they would go over your thin shirts. Then thicker, long sleeve or sweater. Avoid hoods. Really, avoid hoods if you're really layering because they get in the way. Unless it's going to be part of your layering. Some people sneak in a vest, so either over the thin clothing or thick, depending on the type. And by the way, this person lives in temperatures. This whole week she's been messaging me that what temperature is there. It's way colder than we'll be even dealing with. They just deal with it every day.
I'm looking at it right now. Like it says like some locations in South or Australia,
Antarctica. I hope.
Antarctica. Yeah, it says 25 and 35 degrees. 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'll be happy with that, man. I can live with that.
That's not even that cold.
No, sometimes.
Although for
what happened?
Where are you at?
So I'm in PA right now. So it's 29. It was 29 earlier. So now that the sun has obviously gone away, yeah, it's like dropping. So we're close to that.
Dude, I hate that place. Sorry, I hate that place. I stay close to State College. Bro, I'm straight for life.
Oh yeah, no, true. Yeah, not to. I mean, I live in the South. I'm just here visiting.
Yeah.
Friends, but yeah.
And I mean, it was just cold.
But I heard with a wind chill, it could be a problem. If it gets windy there, then it could drop.
That's what I was thinking about. I was just like, it's not even the fact that it's cold; it's the fact that there's windshield, and plus it's snow and ice everywhere, so it's gonna be really cold.
Yeah, I still can't even understand what they say by there's no precipitation there. There's no rain. There's no even snow, I don't think. Well, not during the winter. I mean, not during their summer. But that's kind of crazy. You would think there's going to be
I think it's like it's less precipitation than everywhere in the world, allegedly, right?
Yeah. It's like I think it's like 3/4 of an inch a year, which we get 3/4 of an inch in an afternoon. So
I feel like the creator hates that place or something. Like I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Something crazy has got to be there. Have you guys heard the story about the group of scientists, the dozen scientists thing?
where the hole in the middle or something,
There were
or something like that? Oh,
there were a dozen scientists in Antarctica. We gotta play the video.
Okay.
I'm gonna find the video.
Find
you
a
never
video
heard
for
it?
me? No, I don't think so. I'll keep going with this one. So we've
Dude,
got.
I saw this a few days ago, and I replied on X. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm about to go there. So glad I got to watch this.
She mentions turtlenecks. Turtlenecks help, but I would do turtleneck on thin clothing, if any, because you'll probably add a scarf, and too much thick fabric makes you unable to move. If you have an adhesive body warmer, I have some of those. Put them on your thin clothing, not touching skin. It does say that in the instructions. They activate as soon as they touch oxygen, or your body heat adds to it. Get pretty hot, and if very cold temperatures, I find putting them on each side of your lumbar. Traps or what's a rhomboids? Rhomboids? Traps or rhomboids is best. When you're cold for hours, you have no idea how much those muscles tense up. You'd be in pain for a few days after if you don't get them warm. Also causes headaches and muscle strain. Okay, great. I think that's going to be our whole goal is don't freeze. All right. Thin, tight finger gloves, usually cotton. If your jacket has a thumb hole, this is where you would put your thumb in the thumb hole. Then medium, thick finger gloves over the thumb hole fabric, if applicable. Then bigger mittens, which we have with those three, right? Fingerless. Some are animal hide, fleece, and sometimes they have flaps and open up so that you can use your fingers if needed. Always get a size bigger because it has to fit the other layers, unless you are just doing mittens. Then get really warm, snug ones. Hand warmers inside the gloves, depending on what type of the weather is, and under the thin gloves, or under your skin. Or on your skin, or under the medium gloves. Sometimes you'll find yourself sneaking your fingers out of the finger slots to make a fist to warm them. Yeah, I don't want my hands to be cold. That's the thing. Your jacket needs to be good quality. Well, we're renting that, so we don't really know what the jacket. Did you have to rent a jacket, Lisbeth, or you bought one?
So the outer layer, like the polar layer, that's what's rented. That's what's
okay. We have the same thing. We also haven't seen those yet. Your jacket needs to be good quality. Usually has a max temperature to it. Want to cover all possible pockets so that the zip tie lock thing on the waist of the jacket gets pulled tight. I don't understand that. And as mentioned above, the hole where your hand comes out should be secured either from the thumb hole, under the gloves, or Velcro tight to your gloves. Extra tip: save the layers of gloves for last. So, because you can't gear up with your hands fully wrapped up. Okay, got that one. Good. Scarf. You want a wide, thick. I don't have a scarf. I have a. What are they called? Balaclava.
Yeah, we got those.
I got that.
Aren't scarves just like accepted as being very gay?
Yeah, totally. But
just making sure.
I'd rather. I don't know. I gotta think about it. I'd rather be cold or gay. I'm gonna think about that for a little bit. You want a wide
thermia?
Take my fingers. You want a wide, thick, and long scarf for those windy, cold days. It's the best choice. There are many ways to wrap a scarf, but for best warmth.
Is this a dude?
No, it's a girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
say you definitely are from Canada, huh, buddy?
You have a quarter of it over the shoulder. Wrap the long end around the back of your neck. This is more for you, Lisbeth, I guess. And then over your face. No, we have a balaclava for that. Nose to chin, back around the back of your neck and over your shoulder. This way you can use the hanging pieces to cross over your chest under your jacket. I tuck the hanging pieces slightly under the piece over your face to avoid a gap. If you have a hooded sweater, the hood would be under the scarf. So you have to put the hood on your head to wrap the scarf over it. There you go. How about that? It gets very annoying. The wide, thick scarf is good for covering your face and skin from the wind. And also you have the option of folding it away from your face and bunching it up under your chin if needed. And still have warmth. All right, well, that's that.
Hey, Liz.
Yes.
Jeran keeps saying your name different than just Elizabeth.
I know. I'm doing it. Tell us how to say it, please.
Oh, my name's actually Lisbeth. Yeah.
Lease.
Yeah, say again. Like when you sign a lease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Word. You got a nickname?
I mean, people call me Lise. Like, yeah, you can call me Lise or Liz. Like, it's fine. That's what.
Liz is fine. Did you say Liz is fine?
Liz is fine.
Oh,
yeah.
thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I can remember that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say, hey,
you. All right, I like that better. Liz is good. I
saw you like getting offended about my scarf comment, so I feel like I have to ask if there's something I need to know.
Oh, I wasn't offended by the scarf comment at all. No, I thought it was funny. Like,
I'm like, bro, something's going on here. Am I tripping or like? You can't put me in a scarf. You can't put me in
No,
a scarf.
I honestly, when Jeran mentioned turtlenecks, I was like, yay.
Yeah, that's
Turtleneck is so borderline, also, right?
I don't know if that's borderline. I think that's even worse than a scarf.
Okay, that's incorrect.
Really?
The scarves, dude. To me, dude, scarves are just, it's wild.
I think
out
a
here, someone
turtleneck
wearing
is
a scarf.
automatic. Turtleneck. I can't
You
even.
might as
Like,
well just wear capri pants and like a skirt.
let me see you wear that in Antarctica. That'll go over real
Paint
well.
your fingernails or something.
That's hilarious. What else did we need to make sure we have? I'm trying to think of other things that were
Coffee.
Huh?
You dropped this like SPF 50 lip
Oh, yeah.
balm.
Oh,
Forgot about that.
Oh,
Bro, I got 30. 30 is all I could find. And if I order it now, it's not going to get here on time. We got 30. We got 2 different ones.
oh.
I have that though. I think we could just you could just tell them you're using mine because we're not going to use sunscreen. So
No.
Right.
I prefer to not
yes,
have cancer. Yeah, like I'm believe it or not, I'm not into like absorbing carcinogenic material or whatever.
you're not into
But
that.
that's one thing that does suck is like being a truther. The stuff that you could normally get really quickly, right? It's like, well, you end up being like extra,
Right.
and so then it's not always available quickly.
No, it's not. You're not going to find it at Amazon with Prime next day shipping.
Right.
We got other things here to write. What time is it? What time's Mark coming? About 3 minutes. Is he here yet? No.
So I'll show you this video,
Yeah.
but
Let me share my screen. Okay, you're gonna share your screen.
no.
Oh, you're just sending it to me. Telegram.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if this is the right one. So
Okay. Well, send it to me and I'll see. And let me put this link here for you. Copy link. This is for Austin's. If
Yeah,
you
this is
don't
all
want to. This one here. If you don't want to crumble over this, that'd be great. Control V.
I just figured I'd like freak you guys out before we go.
Okay. What is this? This is on X. What
And
is it?
also, someone told me, they're like, by the way, Veda's Vedic cosmology.
Mhm.
Because she was like, she grew up like being taught that. You know? She was like, yeah, it says there's underground humanoids.
Nazis. Oh, it's gonna be Nazis there.
I
All right,
could
we're gonna
be
watch
so
this.
lucky.
Let's watch this. We'll be right with
Wait,
you.
do y'all know about the bloop though? That's in the ocean. My nephew told me to watch out for that. He's like,
Oh, I think that's
Yeah,
off the
Liz.
coast of off the coast of Africa.
yeah, he's like, you have to be aware of the bloop in the Antarctic, because that's what he's calling Antarctica. And I was like, I need a shirt that says Antarctic.
The bloop.
Yes, if you literally look up the bloop or you ask Siri, it is like this weird fish-looking thing that lives in the water. And I was like, well, sweetie, I'm not going to be in the ocean. And he goes, well, what if it goes on the land? I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
He's looking out for you.
He definitely is.
We've got somebody joining us. I believe he's here. If he's coming on camera, there he is. We'll wait till his.
Hey, everybody.
Mark, what's going on?
Hey, good to
Hey,
see
Mark.
you. I haven't seen you since the North Pole this summer.
No, we were in the meeting just last week. If you don't remember, you forgot
Yeah,
about that.
that was
one.
cool. CIA headquarters. Great to see everyone.
Nice to see you. Now everybody's gonna run with that, just so you know.
Dude, 100%.
100% that's happening. 100% that's happening. Let me bring you on. Sorry, I didn't have you in the screen yet. There we go. So tell everybody who you are, and they probably love Candace, so that's a good way to start, and then they'll hate you after that. Go ahead.
Great. Yeah, I'm Mark Herman. I'm Candace Owens' director. I've worked with her since she first joined the Daily Wire in 2021. And then when she went independent, became her director there as well. So long history with her. She's great, and unfortunately couldn't make it to the actual final experiment. So she's sending me in her place. And yeah, I'm not related to the NCIS actor Mark Harmon, unfortunately.
No.
But I think I'm still pretty cool.
What is going on with that? Has that thumbnail been on the screen the whole time? Speaker's
You
corner.
mean where we haven't seen your face?
What do you mean you don't see my face?
We don't see you, but
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're on the
It
actual
enters-
There you go.
stream.
I didn't know
That's
that.
how it works.
it
Okay.
enters yes.
Jesus. Thanks for pointing that out that I had yesterday's show on there. I'm doing well.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I guess I have to fix it right now. So yeah, Harmon, you are not the actor?
I'm not. I'm Mark
Hmm.
Herman.
Herman. Okay, we get that right. All right, we got that. So what made you decide to go on this trip? Tell people how that went down.
So Duffy actually sent Candace a message on an app that she's on called Minect. I think PBD owns it. You can essentially pay to connect with people that you look up to or you want advice from. And he invited her on the trip, and she said, to us, we were all sitting around when she got the message, and she said, man, I'd love to go, but I'm going to, I've got a family vacation planned at that time, so I can't. And I just jokingly was like, I'll go. Why not? Trip to Antarctica, once in a lifetime opportunity. Might as well see if I could do it. And she took that seriously, and Will agreed that it'd be okay if I went in her place, and here we are, and very, very excited for the trip.
And then the new guy, John, was your friend, or you met him at a friend's bachelor party or something, right?
Yeah, so my very close friend, I don't know if I'll say his name here, but Mirandy used to be his roommate, and so we all met up, and I've known Mirandy indirectly for a few years, and when I first announced that I was going on this trip to my friends, he was very interested and wanted me to bring him on, and I said I can't afford to bring you on, but if you can pay your own way, it'd be great to have you on there, and you could do a great documentary about it. And then Will messaged me and said, hey, someone dropped out, we need a replacement, do you have any ideas? And I sent him Mirandy's info, and they made it happen. So very excited for that as well.
Yeah, awesome. And I know some people have already been speaking about whether or not he's a true flat earther. Some people have said, like, well, he's never talked to me, so I don't know if he's. I'm like, okay, that's not what necessitates a real flat earther, whether or not they've talked to you. But I did go through his Facebook, and we can find posts from 2015, 2016, 2017, and they seem legit. They seem like he's a flat earther. He's making comments, making posts, and then you got like one of the posts has like 85 comments, so people should know that kind of seems like it's legit. I mean, at least unless you're having people input things into the past in Facebook, and if that's happening, then we're in trouble anyway. So,
Zuckerberg was in the North Pole with us, so
of course,
we're all tight.
He can get in there and make changes. Yeah, so he seems like a flat earther to us. He said everything right at our meeting. Again, people can choose what they want. We know that we have contracts signed that are going to prevent us from being in something we don't want to be in. That should be good news for everybody. And we think he's going to do a fair job at whatever he does, whatever he films, whatever he wants to film, and we'll decide whether or not we want to be in on it when that time comes.
Yeah, what most people don't know is that it's so unheard of. Like, if someone ever wanted to ask you to be in a documentary or something, and then you ask for final edit rights, they would just think you're trolling them.
Right.
Yeah. No one gets final cut. Like, I've worked in, I started in local news, and I made it up to, network adjacent level, then obviously, international podcasting, and no one gets final cut. No one gets that. Yeah. So that's extremely unheard of. So when Duffy told me that you guys had that, I was very surprised. So
yeah, it was the first thing I said in response to the email. I was like, number one requirement. Mm-hmm. And yeah, normally people would say no, but here we are, So if everyone knows what that means, I mean, if he shows us what he's going to release and we're like, nah, I don't like it, I don't want to be in it, like, he can't use us or our likeness in it. Now, obviously, he can still make a documentary without us in it, which he could obviously do that anyway. And so
let's point that out, though, because people are making it sound like as if we have the ability to stop people from making a documentary. Like, if these guys are going down there, let's say the sun circles, they have every right to go down there and film a documentary and film what's happening, and we should have no say in that. But if it's including us, if it's meant to be a mockery of us, well, then that's different.
Well, even further, it's just like, if the sun circles, why would you want it to like not be in a documentary or something?
Right.
Like, to me, it's all weird. It's like, if it does that, then it's cool, whatever, let's film it. And we'd actually be doing like tons of firsts. Like, no one's actually really made substantial video of it, much less like multiple angles, like long duration with solar filters. None of that's ever happened, which is weird. I know Antarctica's remote or whatever, but National Geographic will put a camera in a desert for a week to watch a lizard, Right. So you would think that someone would have done it. So that the whole line of reasoning there is weird to me, right? Because it's like, what are you suggesting? That if you can go down there and film it, we should try to prevent them from being able to do that? That's just also weird to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And then we're down there, so we're filming, so they're not going to tell lies because we have the footage showing that. Let me just show you this so people can not flip out about this. So this is Jonathan's Facebook page, and you can see here September 19, 2015. He's already talking about, it's frustrating that people think there's a grand deception at play. that don't think there's a grand deception at play, but I get lambasted for questioning things. As we go up here, you can see that he's starting. This is stunning, and I might also point out that this may be the first real image we have ever seen from Earth up high, potentially 96,000 feet. Have a good look. You've never seen anything like this. This hiker finds GoPro footage with Grand Canyon, from space? All right, this is dinosaurs never existed. This is October 22nd. He's talking.
Based.
Drops a Joe Rogan and Eric Dubay thing here. I don't know what that is. What's wrong with this picture? So he's dropping a Flat Earth Dave post from 2016.
Well, you didn't know he was also there.
Dave was there. Dave's always there. Yeah, you know that. Talking about here why on the globe versus the flat Earth. Again, dropping Dave Weiss. This is from 2019, 2018. I was tagged in 2 flat Earth movie events today. See here, he's talking about the skyline from Apple Pie Hill. So you can see that it's definitely, he's got some posts in there. Here's him joking about people who say that it's too big of a lie, and he's saying, well, there's 10,000 people that worked on the Manhattan Project. See here, we got here Flat Earth fire starters, doing more Dubay stuff.
Yeah, but
yeah, I'm just
dude,
showing.
I've talked to people that worked at SpaceX, for example, and like even aerospace engineers, and I talked to him, and we start breaking it down. He's like, I know that they're real and stuff. I'm like, yeah, yeah. He's like, I built the part for it. I'm like, yes, you did. Like 200,000 people input on the Apollo missions in America. 200,000 people. 200,000 people weren't lying. They made their part. They think that it went to the moon or whatever, So I guess it's just wild to me when I realize that even the people that work at SpaceX, for example, when I'm like, okay, well, what do you think about how in like the actual physics and equations used, you have to use centrifugal forces, right? Which is an inertial force, which shouldn't be there in the current model, right? With the gravitational model of a moving Earth. And they have no idea. I'm like, so, well, that's basically accounting for angular momentum of a rotating universe around a stationary Earth. Right? You have centripetal and centrifugal forces that shouldn't be there. They should be pseudo or fictitious forces, blah, blah, blah. And I'm making that point to say that person's not in on anything, like he's not in on anything. Even the people that think that they're putting it up there and tracking them, they are getting signals, and they run it through a spherical coordinate system. They run it through the assumption of what they think is happening. So anyway, I'm just making a point that almost no one has to be in on anything, really, and total misconception.
Yeah, so I just say this is the one that has 134 comments and people going back and forth about the curvature formula. I think I even responded to somebody's quote in there or somebody's comment in there. Just, like 5 years later, I just popped in there and said, actually, it's 8 inches per mile squared, because they were like, I guess they were trying to say that across Lake Michigan, or that the buildings in Chicago should only have 40 feet. This is what they did. They saw the buildings covered by a little bit of water, and they're like, oh, it perfectly matches the globe formula because there's only supposed to be 40 feet of curvature across that, because they just did 50 miles times 6. They didn't do the times its miles squared. So
something else that the audience I think should know, right? Because Mark works with Candace, and a lot of them may know that, but Candace, she's been like pretty outspoken against NASA. And she's not going with the whole like NASA, believe whatever NASA says thing. And so, because we've obviously, if you were like not just completely asleep in 2020, you found out that it doesn't really matter how many times people repeat a phrase and claim it's science and say you're a denier if you don't believe it. Doesn't just mean it's true. And so we kind of have to like step back and be like, well, let's figure stuff out ourselves. Long story short, Candace has she's clearly done some pretty diligent research into the origin of NASA and stuff, and you got to give her props. She called it out. Most people, that's like it's like kryptonite. It's like radioactive, right? Like if you have a big platform, it's radioactive to say something like, I think that the moon landing was faked because and it has some like occultic undertones, and the people involved with it had some very creepy like Satanist practice or whatever. Like who does that with a big platform? Almost no one would,
Yeah, I think that was one of our first episodes, actually, was the satanic origins of NASA, digging into the history of Jack Parsons and the weird stuff they were doing out in the California desert, and satanic rituals trying to have moon children, and there's a lot of weird stuff that happened. And I obviously am a Glober.
Boo!
and,
Where's my? Hold on,
work-
let me get a boo.
Boo.
Hold on, I have a boo sound effect real quick. Just give me a second. Just make sure I
Okay,
get it real
wait
quick.
for it.
man.
Okay.
Wait for it, and then we'll do it. Okay, let me see if we got something here.
Okay, well,
There we go.
moments pass, brother.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. And yeah, I've been to. I live in Nashville. I've been to Huntsville, Alabama. They have the Space Museum there. They have Werner von Braun's office, which I think is weird to have a Nazi monument in America, essentially. But I do have an open mind, and I'd be interested in being proven wrong. But like I said, I've worked in television. I've interacted personally with satellites. I've tuned in feeds. I've uplinked feeds. So I know there's something up there, but I haven't personally seen it. So
People might want to read
for sure.
this
There
post
definitely
here.
is too. Like I've watched tons of launches because I was in Florida. I've watched a lot of launches,
Mhm.
documented them, and then you can track Starlinks. Like you can download the app and you can just go look at them when they're going to pass over your head. 'Cause
Mhm.
there's no doubt something's up there. One thing a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know is people are pointing out that these things called satellites, a lot of them are attached to balloons. Now, some flat earthers would say that they are definitely used to say they're all attached to balloons, right? Which is such a bad look to say that because you don't like. But anyway, or that they don't exist at all. They're all attached to balloons. But so everyone gaslit people. What are you talking about? Satellites aren't attached to balloons. You're so stupid. But they've actually now been seen crashing out of the sky, like literal satellites, exactly what satellites look like. They're sending signals, they fall down, attached to balloons, right? So now it's well known that there's a Satelloon project where they do actually have high altitude balloons that can maybe go up 180,000 feet is what they publicly admit, and satellites are attached to them. So that is a phenomena, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that's all that's there.
I mean, I've heard about that theory, and my question is, if it's attached to a balloon, does it drift? Because working in television, what I've interacted with are geosynchronous satellites. So they're, I'll use your parlance, allegedly 23,500 miles above the equator, and they would orbit the Earth at the same speed that the Earth rotates. So if you're on Earth looking up at it, it essentially is in the exact same location the entire time. And so, I've worked for every 3-letter agency, ABC, NBC, CBS, and the main network feed comes in on a big dish that is not tracking anything. It's just locked off for years and years and years. So I don't know how it would not drift at all. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so for one, if you have like the Earth not moving,
Mhm.
and then they say that they're on balloons just sitting up there, they have like fleets of balloons that they slightly drift, but there are documents you can read about it where they talk about there are certain areas where it's much calmer, basically, and so you could just keep a fleet in the same general area. Now, publicly, the longest they said that one balloon will stay up, I think, and Jeran, you can maybe correct me, is like 90 days. Maybe it's 180 days.
Yeah, I think they've said months. And then they basically have.
So they're swapping them out, basically. Like, so there's always going to be a fleet there, right? Like, as one's about to come down, they're able to send more up. And they even talk about
and they can release air,
like certain layers with jet streams they catch. What's up?
I was just saying they release like some of the gas, and they can actually fill it up with gas again. So if it starts dropping a little bit, they can fix that. If it goes up too high, they can release a little bit of the helium or hydrogen. So yeah, it is possible. And they can.
I personally think that there's other stuff up there. Just to clarify for everyone, like but I'm just saying, no one knows about that. No one knows that. That's just like a real thing. Like, it's subjectively, whatever the Earth is, whatever anyone thinks, there are actual Satelloons, right? And you can look it up. You'll actually see where they've fallen on people's roofs, and they've been in like the backyard, and you'll see just a satellite on a giant balloon. So like it's now like acknowledged. Also, Google Loon project, when they tried to give internet to people in like a remote area in Africa, they actually did it with balloons, and now they say that it didn't really work. It wasn't that much of a success. But like, why do that, right? So
yeah, I've seen something similar to that in person. I'm from Southern Arizona and have gone down to Sierra Vista, kind of near the Mexican border, and Homeland Security has an aerostat, just like a tethered blimp,
right, that
is way up in the sky with antennas and radars and all kinds of stuff to look for people along the border. So yeah, that is something that actually happens. So, and they supposedly, like I said, I haven't seen it myself, so I'm very
I don't know if you've ever seen
open-minded.
Echo. Have you ever seen Echo? So the Echo satellite was something it's like a 100-foot diameter balloon, silver
Mhm.
balloon that NASA supposedly put up in the sky, and then they could direct beams off of it to somebody's house, or somebody could pick it up from somewhere else. So it could just be something simple like that.
Yeah, and that essentially modern day telecommunication satellites are an advanced version of that, where
Mhm.
it receives signal and then transmits it back. So
So do you think
know,
that's a
radio
good?
waves.
Let's talk about like DirecTV. Is that a smart move by DirecTV? Because they could essentially use all the undersea cables. The service would be better, and they could still
Mhm.
get it to everybody. Well, not maybe everybody who's in a rural place, but then to have the whole thing run on satellite is kind of just a large expenditure that doesn't really need to happen, right?
Yeah, and they're actually starting to switch to IP distribution.
Right.
I've seen a lot of ads for that, like DirecTV Now or something like that,
Right.
because the cost of having satellites is extreme.
Yeah, they say
it's
like
very high.
750 million to launch it or something.
Yeah. But if you
So-
notice, all DirecTV satellites, like satellite dishes on people's houses, they're all looking to the south if
Mhm.
you're in North America. So that's, we were saying about geosynchronous orbit over the equator, 23,000 miles, which, there's some complex math, but I'm not a mathematician. Maybe there's some magic happening there.
Yeah, no. So the way that they get the distance is it's based on how long it takes the signal.
Mhm.
Because speed equals distance over time. So you use the speed of light. You have the amount of time it takes to get the signal, and then you can get the distance. But I mean, it requires the assumption of the speed of light being constant, and then like through a vacuum, basically,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
not.
where,
Yeah.
which I don't buy that at all. I think what's in the sky is way different. I think it's like
Mhm.
there's an area up there where it's actually fluid, like similar to
Hmm.
the scriptures, what the scriptures say. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm just
the
pointing out that
waters
would change
above.
everything. Yeah, that would change everything, right? Because then the quote unquote speed of the light would be different because the medium's way more dense. So you would
Mhm.
get your signal, and you would think you would do the math, and you get a way further distance than it actually is. So, I don't.
And Jonathan Mariande said that he is a Christian. I remember him saying that in our meeting, just so people might like that or appreciate that. So that's a good mark
Just
on
to
him.
be different, I'm Jewish.
Oh,
How dare you.
Here we go.
I was raised Jewish.
Here we go.
Yes. Part of the big conspiracy.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's a wrap. Now it's a. Hey, Jeran,
Yes.
what was the thing? Because we were bringing up like the weirdness with NASA and stuff. What's the thing with like someone's maiden name? Was it Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name or something? Was Moon or
Right. And she committed
That all-
suicide like a year before they went to the moon. And then even in his pre-flight interview, they asked him like, "How did your family taking this?" And she committed suicide because of the press getting too close to Buzz or whatever. That's what the rumor was. So then they ask him, and he just doesn't even mention it. He just says, "Oh, my family's fine. They don't really appreciate the impact to their privacy." But then after he got back, then he admitted to everybody that she committed suicide and that they told the doctor to lie, so that it didn't.
Yeah,
impact
and
his
I
thing.
wonder.
And her last name was Moon.
Yeah, I bet Candace would find that interesting because she started to see the pattern of like these occultic kind of ritual aspects of all of that,
Mhm.
and depending on how far you fall down the rabbit hole, you've noticed that one of the major things they seem to do to blackmail people is, well, they get them in a compromising sexual position, or they are either witness to or participate in some type of horrific crime. And then there's this other thing where people they become famous, and then like a really close loved one dies. Like the baby went number one, dad died, and you can just go down the list, right? There's
It's
tons
like a
of them.
sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's interesting that like he gets picked, and then his mom has the maiden name Moon, and then a sacrifice. Then she's committed suicide, and then no one knows, and then they lie about it, and blah blah blah. The other thing that's very weird about this whole space thing is you have Werner von Braun, SS officer, right, brought over here, put in charge of space exploration. He writes a science fiction novel, and it's called Project Mars. And it was written in 1947. The main character's title in the book is Elon, and Elon he founds the first civilization on Mars.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, what? Like, what are the odds of that? To me, it's like,
Mark, did you know there's a bunch of
Weird.
books that were written before these things happened? Like, what is it, Trip to the Moon by Jules Verne, or was written like 10 years before they even started talking about it. But he had 3 people leaving from Florida in a craft. And like they basically like borrow from these books. There was a book about Titanic called The
Yeah.
Titan 10 years
Well, it's
before
like-
Titanic.
Predictive programming.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, I'm on board with all that. And there was even there was a book in the early 1900s, like the mysterious travels of Baron Trump or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Like, there's so many weird things throughout history that become relevant. It's strange.
Yo, that one's so creepy because I actually just bought that. I bought that compilation of books. I haven't read it yet because he writes The Last President.
Yeah.
And in the book, people get pissed that he becomes president and they go riot, and it's on Fifth Ave, which is where Trump lives, right? And then that same author writes the other books, which have Baron Trump in it. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff like that, because what it basically looks like is, do I hear something?
I know. I'm sure. Stop it. There you go.
It's
I like big tips, and I cannot lie. All right.
They have like kind of higher up people seemingly write this literature, and then they think, okay, well, this would be a pretty good story to tell people, and so that makes it. I guess the point that I'm making is there's a group of people that vehemently oppose us or any of our ideas, or they love to just use flat Earth because it's really easy to box you in and dismiss you entirely or whatever, and they deny all this stuff. Like, they deny that there's sketchy stuff with the origin of NASA. And this is a generalization, but this is the vast majority of people that vocally oppose, mock, ridicule, quote unquote, flat earth. Right? They outright deny any type of sketchiness with the origin of NASA. They'll really virtue signal about the Nazis and turn around and then love the SS officer at the same time. And then they'll deny like the weird occultic undertones, like that NASA named everything after Greek gods, that they were literally doing seances and occultic rituals like in the middle of nowhere.
They planted the Masonic flag on the moon. Like Buzz dedicated the moon to his Masonic lodge. And
and pull out like a little Masonic handkerchief and cryptically read Genesis, which it's just all very weird. And then of course the stuff like the Project Mars thing, like a truther per se, has seen so many of these major events predicted with predictive programming that they'd be like, that's definitely noteworthy. But they're like, no, it's totally obviously just 100% a coincidence. Nothing to see there. And then obviously most of them would never even question the moon landing at all. Right. And it's just pointing out that it's like definitely more nuance there. There's nothing that we can see in Antarctica that's somehow going to make all the evidence that we're being misled.
Not with
terms
the
moon.
It's one data point.
Right. Exactly.
So I mean, it's interesting that it's called the final experiment, but because it implies finality. But there are so many more data points that need to be investigated. I mean, I'm hoping for a sequel where we actually get in a rocket and go up and see what's there. I would do that. But
dude, I told my wife that
I'm not getting one of those.
I swear. I said that's the next thing. Everyone's like, Austin, why are you not to go over? I'm like, send me to space, bro. Send me to space.
That'd be great.
Maybe Elon will do it, man. If it's real, Elon. That's it. If it's real, if everything's real.
Yeah, you should send
the narrative with Elon. That sounds like an Elon move. Send a flat earther to space.
Or Jeff Bezos, if you want to put your penis rocket up there some more, maybe put some of us inside of it.
That's another thing, is that's misrepresented, right? It's just like it's a parabolic flight, basically.
Yeah,
you float for like
people
3
think
minutes.
that it's like that's space when they go up there and they like get a couple minutes, like literally like 3 minutes of floaty time, which is just because it's
Kármán line.
Yeah, they just go over
the arbitrary line that's different in every other nation. But that's the American line of space.
America. Or even we could charter like a 747 and fly from South America to Australia over Antarctica. That's less expensive. I would totally do that. I love long flights.
You could do that for $1 million.
Yeah, I'm taking a 15-hour flight to get to Chile because I have to fly from London. So I'm all for it.
The real thing, obviously, that would be definitive, it would be final, in terms of the globe Earth discussion, would be to circumnavigate the Earth north to south, to go right over the center of Australia and just keep going, and then pop back up on the other side. And if you just keep going, then you're going to hit another continent, right? Like, you can't do that on a flat Earth. You can't just go south over the heart of Antarctica. So basically where we're going, but then just keep going
south.
Straight, and then pop up on the other side. And it's like totally forbidden. And they won't even approve that, even if you have like unlimited funds. They say it's too dangerous, right? Like you can't be saved there. But it's like, whatever, let me die if I want to. I can go climb Mount Everest. And then the other thing
my
is,
body, my choice.
Yeah.
for real. And then
Yeah.
the other thing though is someone was going to do that, was going to circumnavigate or whatever. So then he goes down and something happened. It got too dangerous or whatever. Jeran knows the story a little bit better. He didn't complete the route. He actually just turned up and went back north. So instead of continuing south and popping around for circumnavigation, he just turned around. He just basically turned around and went north. And they gave him the Guinness Book of World Records for the first to ever do north to south circumnavigation, even though he didn't do it. Isn't that right, Jeran?
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what made me become a flat earther, because that was in 2014, and I remember seeing this guy was going to do it. He was going to track his flight. I'm like, oh, watch this, because I knew that on a flat earth map, you can't do north-south circumnavigation. And he flew from Brazil to the south, where he thought was the South Pole, 90 degrees, and then turned around and came back to Brazil, and then went to like New Zealand, but went through the Easter Island way, and they gave him the circumnavigation record. I was like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, all right, now we got a problem, because you would never give somebody a record for circumnavigation that clearly didn't circumnavigate. You just wouldn't do that. I got a couple of super chats real quick here. Thank you, Krista, for joining the club, and Lord Racer, thank you as well. We've got Run Boston Bear says, observation, you are all chilling and loving life while our globe friends are spiraling. The truth brings peace and sets people free. Keep crushing it. Thank you very much, JT. We've got Matthew.
I see some people spiraling on both sides, so you guys just got to chill.
Yeah, they are spiraling.
Well, I laughed at the Globers spiraling because we're spiraling through the universe. I see what they did there.
You just can't tell. You just can't tell. Trust me, bro.
Matthew D. Gregorio says, Lisbeth is beautiful. There you go, Lisbeth. See that? How about that? We've got Dom and Nick says, cut the toe box off old socks and wear under gloves. Okay. And we got Chris Lasala, $10 says, I enjoyed Witsit spanking fake Professor Dave on Flat Earth. Dave had zero ability to deal with the on-site distance visuals showing no curve. All Dave had was an arrogant look and a bottle of dressing. It's true. You know who else?
He told me that those were all fake. I'm like, what? It's like a globe earther professional photographer.
Wow.
Nothing to do with me.
You know who else said you won that debate?
He said they were all fake. He said we were lying. None of those were real.
Will Duffy said that you won that debate, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. He told everybody, oh yeah, Austin killed him.
Seems obvious. You know, he didn't
obvious.
even really address anything.
No, he didn't. Except for just his confusion about how stars work. Lisbeth, I think people want to hear you talk some more. You're being quiet over there, and you're going to fall asleep if we don't call on you. So do you have anything you wanted to say? Anything you wanted to ask of us or of Mark or of the audience?
I mean, I'm just kind of just like listening to you guys and just kind of going with the flow, kind of vibes.
Well, so one thing I saw the other night was that when you were on Mark's show, there's a bunch of people in the chat spiraling again, saying that you weren't real, that you speak too professionally.
Oh my gosh!
Just tell people for where they can find you basically
like,
every
read
day.
Books, y'all. Like, I don't know, pick up a book. Like, I speak 2.5 languages. Like, it's pretty sad that some of y'all can't even speak like one language correctly.
They struggle with one.
I used to be an English teacher. I used to teach English abroad. Yes, I'm a Chinese op because I spent time in China. Oh, I'm a world traveler. I'm this. I'm a NASA op. I'm apparently Jewish. Like, I'm a Will Duffy long game. We're all a long game eventually. So, you know what? Like I said, it's been like this humbling experience to be like, conspiracy theorist becomes a conspiracy. That is quite interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's just like both sides are just spiraling, but I do hear it more from the quote unquote truther side. But I'm also questioning like their levels of hydration, the trailer park that they're living in, the Marlboro cigarettes and the PBR that they're drinking, and the alcohol fetal syndrome that they came about, Okay, you know what? I should just stay probably on mute.
Yeah, you probably should. That was my fault for calling on you there.
That's funny. Don't worry. Don't feel any type of way. Jeran and I have been told that we're females.
Yeah. Just fun.
So transvestigations.
Yes, that's good.
Told everything under the sun. I'm also Jewish, so I'm glad that we're all Jewish brothers and sisters. Yes.
We're all Jewish.
How do you do?
No, we've heard everything. In fact, I have already heard that you have a penis, by the way. So just so you know, the rumors already started. Somebody already told me that. So
well,
this is how
I have a penis. I got a bigger one than you, bro.
She's cooking you, bro.
Hey, what are you gonna do? No, it's
I'm
crazy.
very excited for my conspiracy theories. By the way, I gotta say, I'm looking.
Oh, they're
forward to
coming.
that.
They're coming.
I
can't wait.
They're probably in the chat already.
I've been like sprinkling little things throughout my statements to hopefully seed some. So
you're gonna see some.
Popped in and just threw a match, bro.
Let's see what happens.
Yep,
Mark's
started
experiencing FOMO. He's like, well, where are mine?
Yeah.
He's like, I was in the.
I want
give it a day.
I want someone to say I have a penis. Jeez.
Hilarious. Yeah. So anyway, the people that are flipping out about it, she is in Clubhouse, and Clubhouse is not something that is because I've heard them say, well, why don't they communicate with our side? Well, we do go over there. We've been over there since I've learned about it. I've been over there. Austin's been there. JT, Run Boston Bear's been there. Who else has been there that some of my audience would know?
We've had a few people from Flat Earth Fridays. Actually, Austin, the one morning, because you know how Flat Earth Fridays go long, shout out to Sacred and Proud Fleur. It was a Saturday morning, and actually one of my friends, I'm not going to say his name because, he probably doesn't want his government out there, but he was the one that hopped off mic and said, wait, I think I know her from China. So then he hit me on the back channel on X Spaces, and he goes, do you remember me? And when he gave me the name, I was like, oh my gosh, this was 2014. We were, we all lived, the foreigners in like this little spot. I'm not going to say where. And we all had our respective apartments, and we would go to each other's apartments and kind of play like the tour of whatever. And it was like a drinking kind of like thing, back in your 20s when you're living large. And it was really cool because I was like, we weren't flat earthers back then in 2014. He would have known that we would have re-met back on like a virtual space being flat earthers, which is like, I don't know. It's just really cool when you have experiences like that in life. So yeah. So
if people are interested in hearing more and getting involved with Clubhouse, tell them how they do that. So it's an app, right? That's just
absolutely. So if you have a smartphone, like most people do, you can download Clubhouse, the app. If you have a desktop and you'd like to stream, I know that Alan, right, from Ether Cosmology, that's how he streams. Shane, that's also how he streams when he comes into Clubhouse. And it's a third-party app called Club Deck if you'd like to stream it to your channel. But yes, if you just have a smartphone, you can download Clubhouse. My handle is LDubs, so LDUBS 221. You can add me and literally just type in Flat Earth Gang. We are the first house to pop up. We are pretty much the only Flat Earth like community on Clubhouse. And yeah, come get this smoke, bro.
Mark, I got a question for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So not to put you on the spot too much or anything, but
please,
have you looked into a lot of the space fakery? Like, obviously we and many people claim that a lot of the stuff that we're shown in space, like for example, them on the ISS, is actually them in a studio, right? Have you looked into that at all?
I've dabbled. Mirandi actually sent me something recently of a picture from of the hurricane. I think I want to say it was Hurricane Helene, and he was saying that it doesn't add up or something like that. And I know NASA has admitted to faking images. I know they do composite photography to show things that aren't really viewable with the human eye. But I haven't really delved too deeply into it, just because I guess not everyone has time to base turkeys, because I don't necessarily know if they're going to make that big of a mistake if there's so many people working on it. Mm-hmm. But again, like I said, I like to see things with my own eyes. So I have looked through telescopes. I have flown, I think 47,000 feet is the highest I've been, and I've looked out the window and may have seen some curvature, but that may have been refraction on the edges of the windows. So I'm open-minded, but pretty sure it's a globe. But I would love to be convinced otherwise.
We're gonna find out in a couple of days, I think.
Pretty sure space is real, but again, I haven't been.
Well, I disagree. We're not going to find out in a couple of days.
We could find out.
I will just say that obviously independent of shape.
If the sun sets, do we find out in a couple of days?
Yeah.
Well, we find out one data point.
Yeah, but that one's tough, right? Because
tough one.
I mean, geometric reputation almost at that point. But if the sun actually sets, that's like totally impossible in the current model, as far as I can tell. But the point I was making though is, if you actually look into the ISS, bro, or they claim they're on the ISS, like just all the time, right? And Jeran's done a lot of work with this, but the normal person's not going to go through it. I'll bring this up because this is what woke my wife up. Actually, when she saw this, she heard Eddie Bravo like ranting on Joe Rogan, saying something about it. She went and looked it up, and when you first see that, it's like nostalgic thinking about it. It's insane. Like when you realize it, you're like, this is such a deception. Like, imagine how big of a deception that is, where they are actually in a studio, like with choreography, planning out these like stunts. Apparently all they do on the ISS is try to convince everyone that they're on the ISS or whatever. And
well, they drink water out of the air. These little balls of water.
Dude, they do all kinds of things
That's
to prove
worth
they're on the ISS.
That's worth giving my tax dollars to NASA's black budget.
That's true. I want to give more, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say.
Oh, yeah. Long story short, we've absolutely caught them. They've dropped stuff multiple times, and then they've like done a flip and accidentally fallen, and they use harnesses, and then people have reached out and grabbed items that weren't there before, and then closed their fists and went and sat them down because the guy's timing was off. He hadn't got the hat to him yet, and all that stuff. So I'm just bringing up that's a good intro for everyone, because I think if people actually investigate that. It's undeniable that there's some trickery there. I know people that fully believe in all the model, even like believe in a lot of NASA, and they're like, okay, they have faked some stuff clearly, but maybe it's just difficult to do it all the time, or there was a reason that they filmed some of it or whatever. It's too risky to do it live. I don't know. They were coping, in my opinion, but I think that's a middle ground that everyone should start with. It is like that looking into that, because our tax dollars pay them, and they're lying, right?
For everything.
So, in that scenario, they would be lying.
Mark, let me ask you this: do you think that there's a 24-hour live stream from space of the Earth from NASA? Since we have the ISS, I mean, is there a 24-hour stream of Earth? I
have tuned into the NASA channel years ago to see a live, allegedly, stream of the Earth. But I don't know if it was 24 hours. I have tuned in at some times that I'm not proud to admit on the air. Very late at night, but
they do have a live stream. You can go there and see the live stream, but it's only on for about 20 minutes every hour, or maybe 30 minutes every hour, and then they turn it off. And their reasoning is because it's on the dark side of Earth, which is just like a slap in the face, because we know that they could beam it down to China, and they would be able to run it through undersea cables, and it would get here in less than a second, of course. So that's
even then. Now with Starlink, it has infrared laser backhaul,
so you think that would be easy, right? But they don't never done
anywhere.
It. So we provide them of every dollar that they spend, and they've never provided a 24-hour live stream to the people of Earth. So that's pretty crazy. The other thing that they do that I think is insane. So we pay their taxes, right? We pay our taxes. They hire scientists and engineers. So if they develop something or they discover something and they make a patent, you know what they do with the patent? The good thing to do would be to release it as open source, right? Because it's our tax money that did it. No, what they do is they auction it to the highest bidder. So then the company comes along, they bid on it, a bunch of money, then they have the patent now, and now we get charged more money by the company that has the patent, even though we are the ones who actually designed the item or actually paid for the discovery. So that to me is just more signs that NASA is not at all about people, is not all about the people of this country. You would never do that. If we are the ones, then you would just release all these patents so that anybody could use them. That's how you get prices down. When you have patents and you have trademarks and things like that, that's what causes prices to be high, because no other company.
Well, to be fair, Jeran, if they didn't act like that, they would be like an anomaly in the government, right?
I don't know. Do other people do that?
Wait, can we go a couple of steps back though? Because when y'all were talking about the ISS, if you guys have never looked on Google Earth, we actually did a whole room on this in Flat Earth Gang.
The mock-up,
but it was literally looking at the mock space station down in the Texas Space Center. It's a replica that's down to the wire, literally, no pun intended. Why do we need the exact same wires to be that good of a replica? It's kind of like, oh, so they're definitely not going to space, I'm not saying that was the end all be all, but it was just very interesting to us how we broke it down, just zooming in and seeing just the exact things. And then there were weird things that were sort of misplaced and everything. And it just adds on to the already trickery that they're already putting in front of us. It's just I understand a replica, but a replica to be that exact, what would it matter if the wire had to be red or blue and so forth? How would that matter? People could say, well, it's for training, etc. But it was very interesting to take a look at.
Awesome. What's this video that you sent me? What are we watching this for over here?
We don't have to watch it. It's just something weird. It's a story about there were Buzz and them went down there, and Buzz had to actually be evacuated from Antarctica because he had a heart attack or a stroke or something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously there was this fake, seemingly fake tweet circulating that was from him that says he stared at evil itself or whatever. I think that's not real. I think that actually wasn't a real tweet.
Okay.
For all those people that say that, but he was evacuated, and we do know that John Kerry went down there right before the election, and there's some weird stuff. There's weird timing going. Yeah, something's going on there.
So many politicians go down there. It's really odd.
And at sketchy times, they're getting approval, or so I don't know. It's weird. But this story is talking about like a dozen scientists that were missing for a couple weeks in Antarctica, and then they finally found them and they rescued them, and that none of them spoke, and they were just like all like in shock.
This video talks about it?
Yeah. They tried to
let's watch
talk
it.
to them, and they just wouldn't speak. It was like they had all been like traumatized, and they showed all the symptoms of like post shock, whatever.
Great. Let's watch this. If we didn't need more reason to be upset.
See, my surrogate mother was Viola Armstrong. She had a son named Neil.
Oh, really?
As you know, the story goes, he went down to Antarctica, had a heart attack, stroke combo, and came back. And then there was stuff on the internet. And I had to look at Buzz and ask him, Buzz, what happened down there, Bud? Buzz did say one thing, and it just stuck in my head. It's the way he said it. And he just said, we thought out things we shouldn't. And if Buzz saw something, I don't know what it was, but it was enough to give the man a heart attack. So if there are beings down there, I would think these beings never planned on us. They've been there, they came in millions of years ago. They've been under ice for millions of years. I don't think they were expecting us.
Let me add something about Buzz Aldrin, that there was this very cryptic tweet that came out during his stay down there. He said, "We have seen the faces of evil and we're all in danger." And this is right before he had his heart attack. And I can tell you, logistically, to do a medical evacuation from the interior of Antarctica is very difficult and very expensive. So something must have majorly gone wrong.
To underscore the fact that when the C-130 crew had dropped them off, they disappeared. And then when they went to try to find them, there was nothing at the National Science Foundation camp at all. Nothing.
They were
moving.
gone.
They were
dozen
totally
scientists.
gone. And when they did show up, they had been missing for a couple of weeks. And Brian S. and the C-130 flight crew were then sent back. And they were expecting that they would see this group of scientists out to meet their plane, doing this, yelling something. And he said they were lined up like birds on a wire. They were all kind of next to each other, and most of them had their heads down looking at their feet when the C-130 was pulling up. And that somebody had to go from the flight crew over to the scientists and direct them to get onto the plane. And they talked about how not one single scientist said one word. Most of them walked with their looking down at the ground. Brian said when they got them loaded up, he said to his flight chief, "What in the world? Where have they been?" And the flight chief said, "I don't know. We can't get a word out of them." And during the flight, Brian went and sat down next to one of the scientists, and he said he leaned over and touched the scientist's knee, and the man never looked up. And he said, it was as if we were dealing with 12 or 15 people who had suffered post-traumatic shock syndrome, that they were unnaturally frozen in their position and no speaking, and that they all looked afraid. That one of the SEALs that I have talked to that is not in the video said that as they walked for a mile or 2 miles into these very strange created architectures, they reached a point where something started coming through the walls out into the air. At first, it would go in and out of visibility, and then they realized that their minds were being manipulated. And then when they could see it clearly, and it was coming in and out like a television signal in the air, it appeared to be covered with scales, like an armadillo, the surface of an armadillo. And he said, when you are face to face with something like that, and you are trained in military to kill, but you're dealing with something you've never seen, and it can go in and out of visibility, and you know that your mind is being taken over by something that you are fighting. He said that happened in one of those corridors, and that was 2012.
There's definitely something in Antarctica.
So obviously not stamping any of that. Don't know if any of that's legit. Just saying, it's kind of
Just
weird. I've
throwing
never
it
heard
out
that
there.
story. Haven't looked into it. Not trying to freak anyone out either, but it is funny. I saw that like a week ago. I'm like, of course.
Can we bring guns?
I
don't think so.
Even bring too many hoodies, bro.
We got a couple of their super chats. Somebody says, we've got, have you contacted the news to tell them what you're doing? Wouldn't it be amazing to see Whitsitt or Jeran on the news saying what they're doing? I do know that.
Well, this is what. Well, this is like what I keep trying to tell flat earthers. It's like all these people freaking out. Look, I'll just say it now because we're going. We're going in a few days as far as, okay. Look, it's 2024. People claim flat Earth was dying, and it's the end of 2024. We have a bunch of globe earthers collectively spending almost $500,000 to prove something to flat earthers and to send us on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to give us the most publicity that flat Earth has ever had. So, I mean, it's a net win if you just were able to step back and think about it at all. Because if we see the 24-hour sun, people are going to want to ask the flat earthers about it. You know, they're not going to want to ask people that already just swear up and down that the Earth's 4.8 billion years old and lightning struck primordial soup and I came from stardust and just, just believe what you can Google. And dude, please give us the opportunity where we've been censored for so many years to actually hear our position, because it's so strong, man, and it makes us sound so insane and stupid, and we're dismissed. And the reality is that we know that we're on something. We know that geocentrism has been misrepresented and suppressed, and that even, Stephen Hawking, all the PhDs will tell you, and I won't go through the whole thing, but the evidence is that the Earth is in the center of the universe. The evidence is that the model that we're told is not true. The evidence is that NASA's lying. If this gets us through that censorship wall where it can be adequately represented, that's a huge win. And I can't believe that people weren't able to put that together. And I wasn't going to be extremely vocal about it because I knew it would actually trigger people. It would have triggered people and even jeopardized it in a way, I think, because it is a win. And last thing I'll say, and I'll stop ranting. No. It's like, say that we're wrong. Anyone that thinks that we're wrong, you should be 100% in support of what I just said, because truth doesn't fear investigation. And if this is incorrect, you shouldn't feel the need to suppress the position. Because if you're actually breathing life into it, because when someone sees that little Wikipedia box on YouTube, and whenever someone's getting kicked off everything, they're like, there must be something here, and you breathe life into it anyway. So if you think it's wrong, you should be all for, let's have it out in the open, let's have the real conversation, let's stop having like these fake straw mans of flat Earth, and then maybe we'll get to the bottom of it. So, okay, rant's over, yeah. But that's my take.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that there's this misconception that flat earthers are stupid, which I think I'm relatively new to this world, but all I've seen tells me that you guys are very intellectual. You're big thinkers, and to call someone stupid and dismiss them, like I watched. I was telling Jeran earlier offline that I watched Behind the Curve for the first time yesterday, and it upset me. They did everyone in it dirty. They did a disservice. You don't change someone's mind by ridiculing them. Right. You change their mind by coming along with them and working to find a solution together, working to find an outcome together. The way that they portrayed Mark Sargent as like a perpetually friend-zoned, living at home guy that was incredibly disingenuous and wrong. And what they did to Jeran at the end of the movie, it felt unresolved. Like they're trying to end on a big gotcha moment, and it's just, it's disingenuous. And so that was something that I discussed with Duffy and Morandi with the documentary that Jonathan's going to be doing, is like, I don't want anyone to look stupid. I want it to be legitimate. I want it to be a documentary of what happened while we were down there. And, it's just, like I said, I haven't seen Behind the Curve until last night, and it kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, it pissed a lot of us off. I'm sure Lisbeth is pissed off about it. Is that what you hear most, Lisbeth, when people come into the clubhouse to talk about it? Do you hear a lot about Behind the Curve?
So you'd be surprised, like when we have like Glovers that come in, they haven't watched Behind the Curve, which you would think that would be something that they would want to watch, to be like, and see even one of your leaders or one of your OGs in the community, they had him in a gotcha moment and all this other stuff. So we actually don't hear that point brought up a lot. I think it's more just like within the flat Earth community. And like Jeran, you did, you know, when you came into Clubhouse, into Flat Earth Gang, what was it, about a month ago, and you just explained like what had actually happened there, you know, because I feel like it's very important for both sides to hear, like, listen, it doesn't matter what side of the coin that you're on. What it comes down to is like deception is still deception, and when you're misrepresenting somebody and you're strawmanning someone, that's still wrong, and that just shows a lack of integrity. And I just feel like on either side, that's wrong. You know, it doesn't show that you're a good human.
Right. And then you got, you know, at least finally talking with FTFE, he admitted it. Finally talking to Toon, they admitted it. But then you still got all the other people that are just going to continue to say it, even though it's.
But wait, but they pushed it for years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so like
they did it.
You know, you don't just get this like automatic wave of the wand pass 6 years later. That film came out in 2018. And the reason that some Globers maybe haven't heard of it now, well, it's 2024. Right? It's like It's almost 2025. It's an old movie on Netflix. But I can assure you that is all that we heard, no matter where we went, for like 3-4 consecutive years. And to this point, you still see the clips popping up. Flat Earthers debunked themselves, blah, blah, blah. And both those people you just named ran with that narrative harder than anyone that I know that makes content. And if anyone's interested, they should definitely listen to Jeran break it all down. I'm not telling him to do it right now, though.
No, I'm just saying you can go to Jeranism.
Well, you can go to Clubhouse, actually, and hear it break it down, too, because he did a wonderful job. It's one of our most recent replays. Also, it would be lovely to get new people to come over. You know, we have some of, like, your people, like, shout out to Tony Coriolis. I know he's in the chat. Like,
Tony?
Yeah, Tony's the man. Like,
yeah, he's awesome.
Over. But yeah, if you go to Clubhouse and go to Flat Earth Gang, in our replays, you can see Thursday night with Jeranism. Jeran does an amazing job at breaking down, like, to the actual Flat Earth community and Flat Earth Gang members, what happened behind the curve, you know, just in case. I know you probably have another platform. I just wanted to throw
I was going to say, if you go to my website, jeranism.com, click videos, it's the very first video that pops up called Interesting. And it just kind of goes through, and you get to see the emails between me and the directors. And so you get to see where they lied and basically said, yeah, we'll give you the extra footage. And then after they decided to use an out of sequence shot, then when I asked for the extra footage, then they have to change it to, oh, we can't give it to you. And just everything about that was, I mean, you have to imagine it this way. We did like 20 observations that night, and that they chose one and then put that in the movie. If Flat Earthers would have done that, imagine I went there and I filmed 20 things and one moment looked like a flat Earth. So I took that and then made a whole documentary about it. That's the equivalent of what the Globe did. And it looks pretty bad on you guys more than anything.
It was like closer to FE than Globe anyway. And
it was right in the middle, actually.
People do some mental gymnastics about how it actually was, and then refraction this, refraction that, whatever. But the point is, also they do this a lot. Most people aren't familiar with this. This is why the censorship pisses me off so much, and this is automatically a net positive if it helps break through the censorship some. But like Stephen Hawking had that thing, right, that you've covered many times. Stephen Hawking documentary on National Geographic. They're going to prove the Earth's a globe. They film a helicopter in the distance, and it's going to get blocked by the curve of the Earth, right? So as the helicopter's landing, you're not going to be able to see it anymore because it's going to get blocked by the curve of the Earth, or something to that, or the other way around.
Yeah,
whatever it was. But the climax here is that they literally faked it. They took a shot and they actually like layered a helicopter on top of it and faked the evidence to prove the Earth's a globe on National Geographic in a documentary, Stephen Hawking's documentary. And whenever I tell people that, they just assume I must be wrong. They're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, everything's fake. Oh yeah, you just know it's fake. And I actually understand why someone would think there's no way someone actually did that,
or that it would be provable, and it is.
Right, it's like literally provable, where even any person that loves the globe Earth and would never concede anything, when they actually see it, it's undeniable, because it's like you see the bird fly across the scene at the same time. The water ripples in exactly the same. Yeah, it's like literally the same scene with the helicopter. That's so weird. So not only do they do the hit pieces and behind the curve, then they push out their propaganda films and they're faking it. They're faking evidence for the globe. Like, bro, why would you? I thought we proved it with sticks in the ground 2,000 years ago. What are we doing here?
Now we need to fake it, though. Aristophanes figured it out, but you guys are struggling, I guess.
Well, I have a hard time believing a lot of things that Stephen Hawking said after I found out that Epstein's Island is apparently wheelchair accessible.
Right.
So
that's true.
Good point there. Good point.
Yes.
He was honest one time, though, and he said, so as to the question of whether or not the Earth, I'm paraphrasing, could be in the center of the universe, it could be there, and we have no evidence against that, but we choose not to believe it on grounds of modesty. meaning that in his mind, philosophically, it's more modest to say, well, it would be arrogant of us as humans to think that we're so special, that we're in the center, and that if the universe is really this big, the odds are that we're not in a special place. So, but he admits, based on all the evidence, any astronomical observation with any telescope, you name it, it all works with the Earth in the center of the universe, and we can't disprove that. And then Hubble said it was horrific and intolerable, and that we must avoid it at all costs. Blah blah blah. So,
and there's rumors that Stephen Hawking.
I know Candace. If Candace looks into this stuff, bro, like that stuff I'm talking about right there, where there's this huge philosophical bias against intelligent design and creationism, where like modern physicists are 95% atheists and all this. If she finds out that what actually happened was that the heliocentric model was started by literal sun worshippers in like this occultic weirdo way, and then all of the physicists, all the astronomers, all the astrophysicists, they know and are on record explaining that the Earth could be in the center of the universe, and that the evidence actually even seems to imply and suggest it. And so when you Google it and you ask for proof, all the stuff that's listed isn't actually proof. And it's just that they don't like the idea that there's a God.
Right, it was a mindset, right? Like
what they say.
We could be in the middle, or else they added we could be on a balloon, and the balloon's being blown up, and everything's. They didn't. That's just them making a postulation. We could be on, and then that's the direction they went, but not because of evidence. Evidence says we are the middle or the center. Go ahead.
Like on its face, what they didn't expect to see very quickly and simply is when we got the really big telescopes in the early 20th century, we developed these huge telescopes that could see further than ever before. So when we looked way out into space, quote unquote, everything was moving around the Earth, and they did not expect to see that, right? Because we thought we were this little pale blue dot, Carl Sagan, right? This little speck of dust in the corner of the universe going around an insignificant star, And we thought we'd see things going every which way. Like, who cares about the Earth? But everything was moving in relation to the Earth, which was not expected at all. And then they changed the model to say, oh, well, it's expanding in all directions like if it was a balloon. It just makes it look like the Earth is in the center. It's an illusion. We're not actually in the center. And it's because of the Copernican principle, which is the idea that the Earth is not in a special or unique position. It's a philosophy. Yeah. And again, if it is in the center, then who put it there, right? So
exactly. Well, and I think that, I, like many others, dabbled in atheism in my teenage years. But came back around to realizing that there is a God. He's very real, and this whole dehumanization of us, like you're a speck of dust. Like there's a Calvin and Hobbes comic. I used to love that when I was a kid. It was like, I'm significant, scream the speck of dust was one of the comments, and it just dehumanizes us to the point where we're easier to control. And I think there's a lot of things that weigh in on us to put my tinfoil hat on, like the brutalist architecture of the world, how buildings are no longer beautiful, civilizations are no longer beautiful. It's because humans are pretty unique in that we appreciate beauty more than any other animals. And to take away the beauty of our lives just makes us easier to control, and dehumanizing us by saying we're insignificant, floating in this vast emptiness of space. It's to make it easier to control people, and it's not I don't know, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And to touch on that, like, think about it, they have us to a point where it's like, first you're going to tell us that we're so insignificant, this pale blue dot, and that we don't matter, and that there is no creator. Then you're going to poison us through our food, through the water, the fluoride in our toothpaste. Then you're going to have us just matrix our life out by paying bills. Like, literally, we should not be paying for things like water, electricity. Like, Tesla figured, some of this stuff out. They completely destroyed his stuff, called him crazy, and now the government has his stuff. And of course they try to hide that information, and it's just like, once you start going down essentially the rabbit hole and you start uncovering, you realize that it's sort of like true crime, and you start connecting the red line tape, to everything. And you realize that it's just like, all of it is intentional, because in order to keep people controlled, you have to able to have full control. And to touch way back on Austin's point, and I feel like a lot of Globers, sorry, I don't want to use that term, a lot of like non-truth seekers or people that are just, blue pilled for the most part, they forget that you don't have to have everyone in on it. Your fourth grade science teacher isn't in on the lie. She's given a syllabus and she's told to teach you the solar system, et cetera, et cetera. It does not take a massive amount of people to, conduct this lie, essentially. So when people are like, well, why would they lie to us about the shape of the earth? And it's like, you have to start somewhere, you know. And I
Mm.
feel like a lot of people find a way to get in, and you know, for a lot of people it is the food, it is, you know, the poison and everything that is around this big pharma, you know, a customer
The
cured.
bioweapon. Yep.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. A patient cured is a customer lost, even down to our fabrics. Like, did you not notice that on the Antarctica clothing checklist? Sorry, I'll wrap up here. They, not only is it because we don't want to get hypothermia, right, because cotton would be bad, but merino wool, that is very high frequency. Like, we're electrical beings. We are meant to vibrate high and to connect with our earth and our creator. And all of it is just, you know, it's systemic and it's intentional. And yeah, that's literally where it is.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And one more thing I'll say, because like the justification for behind the curve that they gave once they finally kind of admitted, yeah, it was obviously an intentional hit piece, because they lied to everyone the whole time. They were like, we're really interested in flat earth ourselves. And we want to make, you know, that's why we're like all on alert, right? Like someone telling me I'm flat earth or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, because I've watched them lie, people lie, right? And people have done it to me. People have done it to my friends. People did it to Jeran. So anyway, so they deceived him into thinking that they were even interested. They wanted to give it a good platform or true representation to show the world what you really think, all that. Then whenever they put it out, hit piece, they end up saying that the reason they did it was because they went to the conference. Now, I think even this is a lie, and actually they knew the whole time. Yeah, of course. But so they went to the conference, and they saw that there were children there, right? And when they saw that there were children there, they knew that flat earth was a serious problem. It was dangerous, and that they needed to, even if they had to be deceptive to create the hit piece, had to deter people away from it and show everyone how dangerous it is or how stupid it is. So it was like the ends justify the means type of claim because of the children. And I brought that up because I actually do this for the exact opposite reason, because this is extremely detrimental to me in a professional capacity in a way that's like not even quantifiable, right? It's laughable. This is the worst thing you could ever like make your whole thing about, right? It's just terrible. To the, you know, it's not ideal. Anyway, but I do it because those children are being told from like a very young age, like, look, here's where you live. They're showing a ball. And they're like, why don't I fall off? I go, gravity. What's gravity? Well, it's what keeps you to the ball or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, when's recess? Then you have to learn the planets. And my point is that very young, they're told this idea that there is this huge sea of nothingness and that we're this tiny speck of dust. Okay. And so they internalize that, and that actually develops their worldview. Like they go look at the rest of the world trying to make sense of it with that foundational understanding. They are not told the possibility of the other side. They are not even told it. It's actually omitted.
Right.
And so that would only be even theoretically permissible if it had been truly scientifically or definitively proven or something like that. That isn't the case, though. When you get to university and you get to academia and you read these actual papers, you look at the actual tests, it is well known that the Earth could be in the center of the universe. And the evidence actually shows that. And so that is so dark. So that's actually like evil.
The same thing with evolution, right? They teach evolution as the only option, like as if there's nothing else, even though evolution is drastically lacking in evidence, like any kind of fossil that came before another animal. There's no pre-hippo, no pre-giraffe, they just appear in the fossil record. They never mention that. If they did,
they tell you that it's 5 billion years old, but they won't tell you that a tree was found through multiple sedimentary layers, where the top of the tree had to be, 1 million years old, and the bottom of the tree had to be 10 million years old.
They leave all that stuff out, or the dinosaur bones were sent in and to a lab to be dated, and they were dated and came back 10,000 years, 15,000 years, and then they're like, "Oh, those are dinosaur bones." They're like, "Oh, you can't send things here anymore because you need to tell us that because we need to set the machine to come in at 67 million years or older. we can't have you just bring these dinosaur bones not telling us, or else we're gonna."
You got to tell us what the answer.
You got to tell us what the answer is.
Dinosaur bones were only found in like the 1800s, and we don't have a full skeletal put together of dinosaurs. And the same fact with evolution, like they tell us like, "Oh, you have the same matching DNA of an ape. Oh, and also a crop and a banana." Like, bro, what?
Bananas are delicious, though. So I will say that.
Bananas are delicious. We've got
just tape one to a wall, bro. If you're strapped for cash, bro.
Yeah, whoa, $6 million or whatever it went for.
And then he just ate it.
What happened? Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
There's an art piece where a guy just duct taped a 58-cent banana to the wall, and it sold for $6 million. Oh, wow. And in the description of the artwork, the official certificate, it was, well, you can change the banana out right as it rots.
Well, great. All fine art is essentially advanced level tax evasion and money laundering.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You buy this shitty piece of art. I don't know if I can curse. Apologies.
No, you can definitely curse.
You buy this crappy piece of art, and you have your friend who's an appraiser. You buy it for $100. You have your friend who's an appraiser for $20 million. You donate it to a museum, and suddenly you get to write $20 million off your taxes. And also, auction houses are one of the only places where you can do large cash transactions over $10,000 without doing a suspicious activity report. So it doesn't fully get reported.
Wow,
So it's like,
I didn't know that part.
Makes sense, huh? So no, I think Duffy is contacting media. Just answering this question again. He's going to contact them. We have not done that. We've not talked to any news. Ask Lisbeth to the. I'm sorry.
The flat earthers are right here, right? And we've added a new flat earther. That's true. But so like I guess they could hone in on him or whatever. But as far as I can tell, I'm like I trust my intuition pretty well. Like I just believe Mark and I believe him. Yeah. I think Mark just knows him. Mark just knows him by proxy, and then has got to know him a little better. He's a flat earther. Mark's probably been like, I think that's kind of a weird idea you got there, but whatever. We all have our own ideas,
right.
and he seems just like
and
genuine.
our mutual friend is a flat earther, and I've had discussions with him over the years. So it's like it.
Yeah, I think there's more people than people think too, right? There's a lot of flat earthers out there who don't go on YouTube and make videos, right? And I think everybody expects like, well, where's their video? Where's this video on YouTube? It's like, well, a lot of people don't do that. They may post it a couple times on their Facebook. Space Audits Alan says, ask Lisbeth to tell the story about the company White Desert and their connection to the golden ticket. I have no idea what that means.
Oh, okay. So this was, obviously I'm the golden ticket winner.
Congratulations.
And congrats, right? And one of my friends, one of my main girlies in Flat Earth Gang, she is a journalist by day. And she was, she kind of just had her journalist vibes, and she was discussing with another member, in the house. And they were kind of just like, let's reach out to ALE, let's see what's going on. So she reached out as a journalist and, just kind of asking like, hey, I heard about this golden ticket winner, I'd really like to get some more information about it, and then the ALE representative, which by the way is not our representative that we've been communicating with, just another one, unrelated. And they wrote back to her saying, oh, well, that was actually done by a company called White Desert. So of course we're like, she came back to me and she's like, Lise, do you know what White Desert is? And I'm like, I have no idea. And you remember, Austin, one of the nights that you guys came through, I was like, did you know about this? So we did our due diligence on our side and just, started reaching out and looking. And when you look it up, I even did like a credit report because I work in like finance by day. So like I was kind of like looking up, what the connection was. It's another Antarctic expedition company that's out of Cape Town, South Africa. Now, what we ended up finding and what Duffy was able to finally clear up after a while was that they were like the more expensive version. Like they were like double the price of what it would have been to kind of take us all on the trip. And I don't know if they were more like a DBA or like a sister company, but they weren't listed as any of the, sorry, that's the Bengal cat in the background, but there was no affiliates. I'm at my best friend's house, so sorry. It wasn't listed as one of the affiliates. And when I did the credit reporting, I couldn't find anything on it. So it was just very interesting to me, but luckily it was something that did get cleared up, with Duffy. Again, I know that people feel skeptical about Duffy, etc., but we were also able to clear it up on our end. So yeah, White Desert is just a very bougie Antarctic expedition company out of Cape Town, South Africa.
I guess I'm confused. What does that have to do with the golden ticket?
Well, because I won, my friend wanted to reach out as if like, hey, I would like to find out more about how this happened. And then they came back to her with the information of like, oh, that had nothing to do with ALE. That actually was another company called White Desert. So, of course, we're thinking like, well, if we've never heard of White Desert, why wasn't that mentioned? Because we were told, as you saw, that it was like a guy named John Bolton. Don't know if it was Trump's administrator or the actor that actually paid for my ticket. Right. I don't know who it was.
You still don't know, huh? I'm not really sure.
I still don't know. I still have no idea. Yeah.
We got DJ.
Oh, it's the CIA.
They pay your paycheck.
Oh, don't you know? I'm a NASA op. Come on, you already know.
She has a friend who's in NASA. A friend that works at NASA. So
right, because my friend Bert Pasquale, which by the way, he's Googleable. Like Googleable. That's not a word. But yeah, he's an optical engineer, and Austin's had a conversation with him and everything. In the room, I guess you could.
Yeah, dude, I hit him with the kryptonite though. I hit him with the real inertial
Did he run away?
Forces and the satellite equations, man. It's just I feel bad even bringing it up to people nowadays.
We got
No, I
It's
think my
like so
favorite was
bad.
you with PhD, our resident PhD theoretical physicist. We have that on replay and recording forever. How it started with I'm an expert in theoretical physics, and how it ended with it. I mean, my
Destroying
brain
him.
really hurts right now, and you're making a lot of assertions. But if that means you won, I'll just take it. That's like forever classic in the house.
And then he ran
Yeah.
away. Yeah. We
It's
got
funny
D-
because I actually am. I just go around. I just want an answer. I'm like, you know, you think like when you get the aerospace engineer, the NASA, whatever, the PhD in astro, the professor, you're like, we're obviously we're gonna get the answer, right? Like, we're missing. It's totally not the case at all. It's like actually the people that are more obsessed kind of online are normally like way more informed with a lot of these things. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. That's why the censorship is just so lame. It's okay because no one has any idea that we're sitting here just dicing up PhDs. They would never know that. They think that we're so stupid we don't understand sunsets and
how could sunsets
whatever.
work? How do time zones work? DJ Curious says, "Go Team FE!" Praying and rooting for you all. Thank you very much to DJ Curious. We've got X Star Boy Tave. Okay. Do you guys have anything with? Sorry. Do you guys have anything with the SR-71 and the record flight and speed it covered at 2,000 miles per hour and going 2,500 miles? That would show it's impossible in a sphere without plane tearing apart their numbers. I have not looked into that, but I think they would say it's at a certain height that it can do that. Run Boston Bear, $100. What the hell's going on? This has been such a fantastic stream. Thank you. Thank each one of you for what you have contributed. Mark, you are based and hilarious. Tell Candace the president of Flat Earth says hi, and invite her to stop by Flat Earth Fridays on X sometime. You are welcome also. There you go. Tell Candace that. DJ Curious back again. He says, thanks for bringing up Behind the Curve. It is an expensive hit piece, and now a badge of honor for Mark, Patricia, Jeran, and the rest. All deserve better, but the truth wins. Yeah, and again, I'm just somebody who says that for everybody worried about a hit piece this, and I get it, but at the same time, there's been nothing but hit pieces. There's never been anything that we would not call a hit piece. It's been on the TV or been on the news or been on the radio or anything. So they're all hit pieces, and yet we still stand here. So it's not.
I told them that you guys a story in Zoom, the most egregious one I've been a part of, because everyone always told me like, dude, just you could never be a part of a hit piece. You know, like it's everyone's thing. And I feel like I would let people down so much if I did. So what I've always done, because I went on tour and I got some like different publicity at times, I would just like say things in such a way that you literally couldn't even take anything out of context. You know, like it's like, hey, what's your name? Well, the falsification of the radius value of 3,009. You know, it's like there's just nothing they can't take out of context. I did that with this like national news organization in another country. I forgot exactly where it is.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
You only played that one thing.
Yeah, literally out of like a 45-minute conversation, because I was so precise, right? I'm like, the second law of thermodynamics dictates that the pressure, you know, but there was nothing that he could do. So then at the end, he just like, oh, that's very interesting. So like, what do your parents think about this? And I'm like, oh, you know, they thought I was pretty crazy when I told them. And then he just played that.
That was it.
Just played that. Yeah. Like, okay, these guys are pathetic, right? Because if I just don't resonate with that at all, right? Like I spend most of my time still manning the mainstream model, like still manning it, like, you know, the best that, because why not do that? It seems so deceptive and weird, and
totally agree. I
don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It makes it feel like your side's wrong, actually, right? Because you're lying, and like if you're not wrong, you're doing your side a disservice by being like that.
Yeah, for sure. Or always, you know, like there's globe earthers say we don't see too far. We never see too far. It's like, okay, no, you're never going to get a flat earther to come aboard when you say that, because we all know that it's a lie. Because everybody's seen video footage, everybody's gone out and done it themselves, and we do see too far. So for you just to come on and say we don't see too far, it's like, okay, well, you're just lying. We got Ruhif in the house. Ruhif says, OT. Who's that? OT. Still waiting for Witsit to justify Fabio Longaron's observation height of 906 feet. Thank you for that. $7.99, $8.
Let me. Yeah, okay.
I know what he's talking about.
This is so good. He just did that. Okay, so I have this compilation of observations. It's like 12 of them that are all like geometrically impossible on the globe, of all these different mountains, and they're all from that professional photographer he, like, you know, makes it happen. I think they're literally all from him. So I just went to his website and I took his data, where he claimed he was, how high he said he was, all of that, and I put it on the I made like a meme. So it's just like 12 reputations, just geometrically. of the globe. So I guess in the top left, he's saying that when he went and tried to fact check it with the locations, look at everything, that the elevation's or the observer height's a little off by like 100 or 200 feet or something. And so he's like, he told me that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. Like, show me whatever it is. I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. I'll update it. I just trusted the guy who took the picture, who gets like actual awards, because they fact check you to give you the awards. So I'm like, okay. And he just sent the super chat asking me to verify the observer height when I said, oh, maybe it's wrong. Thanks for pointing it out. Let me know. I don't know. He's the one that claimed it.
Yeah,
That's exactly a good example of what I'm talking about, though. Like, where we had like an hour-long conversation in Discord, and he knows that I wasn't even arguing it, and was like, okay, yeah, maybe it's wrong. But then he comes here in this public setting, and he says, still waiting on Austin to defend this lie that he, it's like.
So have you remember on Globebusters where we were talking about that observation that Bo made? I showed it, right? That we're seeing that Anacapa arch off of Santa Barbara. Remember me showing you on Globebusters? Yeah. So Ruhiff comes back and tries to like debunk it by, first of all, he changed the viewer height by saying that he went to some other WGS thing to. It's like, oh, now Google's not good enough for the observer height. We need to go to other places to find the. So he made it up by 10 feet, and yet still you should have 250 feet blocked, and we can see the whole island. It's right there, and you can see the Anacapa arch, which is 40 feet high. He's like, I don't believe it's 40 feet. You go look at Wikipedia, 40 feet. Go search it, 40 feet. It's everywhere you look, it says 40 feet. He's like, I don't think it's 40 feet. It's more like 100 feet. But again, they're just fudging the numbers until it kind of works for the globe when it clearly doesn't. I mean, it's 250 feet supposed to be hidden, and we can see the arch 40 feet high. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Ruhiff, try harder. Do better.
No, just don't. Stop trying so hard.
No, sorry. Don't try so hard. Oh, wait, we got more? We've got Lou M. $50 Australian, I think. Says, good day, mateys. Amazing stream today. Mark won't need to go to Antarctica after he looks into 1/3 of what you all dropped today. See you tomorrow. Blessings.
I'm still going. You can't get me off the trip that easily.
I think it's gonna be cool, but I hope it manifests. It actually unfolds.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it definitely seems like you're right. It probably sounds crazy to some people that were saying like, "Is it going to happen?" But
well, then I just saw
our journey. It's not out of question that it gets canceled or something weird happens.
No, trending on X right now is nuclear Armageddon alert. So
and cool. UFO sightings everywhere or whatever.
Oh,
yeah,
so
I'm sad I missed that.
Then?
Huh?
We're off the monkeypox then, so that's not.
I think I haven't heard much about monkeypox lately.
I think we're back H1N1.
Once kids and dogs started getting it, they kind of stopped covering it. So
I heard something about H1N1 yesterday or something. But
no, don't say that.
It's always something. But hey, it would be crazy. Maybe we'll go down there and then we'll get to talk to the aliens.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a hole in the ice that we go down, and it's the underworld with the large animals. That's what I'm looking for.
You hope there's an underworld
with the large animals? Yes. No.
Like the god with animal heads.
No, whatever Bird saw when he went. Of course, his nephew is the one that reported it, but he saw large animals in the Crystal City. There you go. And then we've got. Oh no, that's it. I believe that's it for super chats. Great. I'm gonna check Rockfin real quick. You guys have anything else you want to say? Mark,
I just want to plug. I want to plug these things real quick.
Please.
So anyone that's maybe not familiar with a bunch of this stuff, or they're new to it, or you have some downtime, or you're looking for something to familiarize yourself with the subject for whatever reason, a good documentary is The Principle. That's from 2014. Robert Sungenis. I was just on Timcast with him. Cool guy.
I could probably bring up the
geocentrist. And that's more about the physics and the whole history of it. And it shows you all these different PhDs and stuff. Like, yeah, geocentrism is definitely possible. And actually, it looks like we are in the center of the universe. And then heliosorcery. And if you're more into like the actual occultic origins of the heliocentrism and exactly how that all unfolded and kind of the story about fighting the church and science versus the church, all of that, heliosorcery is a must watch because the occultic undertones and like metaphysical religious beliefs that created heliocentrism is crazy, and almost no one knows it. So check those out, just so at the least you'll kind of have an idea of what you believe.
Wait, can we add one more? Because this is like, I call this one like kind of this one's more audio. You don't even need the visuals, and I call this a very beginner. The Lost History of Flat Earth, which yes, collectively it is 6 hours long, but it goes into the whole history. We're talking about the reset. We're talking about the orphan trains. We're talking about the shape of the earth. We're talking about World War II, and I don't know if I can say it, but you know who I'm trying to say, the man of World War II. And it goes into all of that, and I really do think that it's a great introductory piece. And I believe that there's another one, what happened on Earth, or whatever happened on Earth. I always say it wrong, but you can find it on BitChute too.
Okay, we got.
Or what on Earth happened? That's what it is. Yeah.
We also have I just put in the chat a link to the principle. If you want to watch it from there, you can download it from there. But that's
Heliosorcery. It's on YouTube. It's got like
it.
250,000 views. It hit like 250,000, then just it's a wrap. Kind of like Jeran's sub count. You get a certain amount, they're like, nah, hit the switch, kill it.
No, that's just nobody new has seen my stuff in 4 years, 5 years. It happens all the time.
I mean, it's normal for a video to get like a good amount of views, and then after it's kind of older, it doesn't grow nearly as fast.
True.
That's not what happened with this. It like exploded, and then it just stopped early on. Very interesting. So,
well,
anyway,
they did that with the Rogan and Trump interview.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't get suggested. It's like the biggest video in the world, and it doesn't suggest it on the homepage.
Yeah, and there was a moment where you could like look it up and not get it, and they fixed it pretty quick. But
oh, you would look it up and nothing would show up. Crazy.
Yeah, like if you actually look, you wouldn't get the actual full forum interview if you looked it up in YouTube for a moment. But like once Joe Rogan actually pointed it out, then it got.
I'll tell you something. You won't believe this. You won't believe that this happens. So on my phone one day, you can search on an iPhone for anything in your text messages, things like that. I was trying to find where I said something about Trump. I put Trump in, and it didn't list anything. It's like, what the hell's going on? I know I've mentioned Trump in it. I would type anything else, it comes up in the search. But if you search for Trump in your text messages, it doesn't show you anything. Apple will pretend like you've never mentioned it. I was like, showing my wife, I tried to tell Dave Weiss, but then because I asked him to look for Trump, then when he searched, he found that. And then I searched mine, and then it found that one. But I was like, well, what about everything before that? Just was hiding it from me. Crazy. Here's Heliosorcery. This is the link to that if people want to watch that.
Dude, it's no matter what you think or believe, bro. Right? Because if in this scenario, which to me this is like a far-fetched world at this point, like I need like LSD or something to think it's even possibly real. But like this is mainstream heliocentric cosmology where time slows down and distances shrink, and then you can't tell because they all look like they're the same, but they're not, and it makes it look like the Earth's not moving, all that stuff. Even if you believe all that, whatever, you should know where it came from, because if that model is true, hypothetically, it did not come from science. It didn't come from anything like that. It came from like crazy occultic beliefs. And if you look at it, like, for example, Kepler was saying the sun's basically a deity. It sings a heavenly song. All the other planets move around, and that's Kepler's laws. That's how we map the planets, right? Kepler's laws. If you look into all of it, it is very occultic. And you should just know, because you're going to be amazed. Just like you would be amazed if you didn't know about the people that helped found NASA, right? Just look into it, because
double check these things that you've been told. Things like Copernicus is came out with this thing on his deathbed, not true. There's so many things like that where you find out, they try to pretend like there was these epicycles with geocentrism, and then here came heliocentrism and everything was solved. Copernicus solved. That's not true. They had epicycles as well.
Galileo denounced geocentrism on his deathbed in Isaac Newton's Principia. The final page didn't actually make it to publication, was removed. And in the final page, he says, well, actually the Earth could be in the center of the universe, even using his own mechanics. He says the Earth could be in the center of the universe at the end. They took that page out, and then just some professor at a university tracked it down in the 20th century and found out, oh, there's a missing page of the Principia, which is obviously Newton's famous work where you get gravity and stuff like that. So there's so many things like that it's just insane.
How about the first globe that ever was 1492 that they've ever found, the oldest globe, which is just crazy because we're told in 275 BC they figured out that the Earth was a sphere. So it just took 1,700 years in order for somebody to say, hey, let's put the map onto a globe.
Wait, isn't that the year we're told the whole Christopher Columbus thing?
Yep, same date.
He used the globe. That's how he...
No, but he used the first one ever made.
He used the first one ever made. And he did. It proved the globe. That's why he thought he was in India.
Right, which makes no sense because that means he was way smaller globe, and I thought that they figured out the size in 275 BC. But anyway.
I'm convinced at this point, the globe got Amelia Earhart killed.
Yep.
People are just assuming.
I think that the globe had something to do with Titanic. To be honest with you, I think the globe had the Titanic sunk. We've got.
I think that was all 100% true.
but with the what's the name of that other ship? The Olympia?
Yeah, sister ship.
I mean,
Yeah.
JP Morgan just wanted to take out all of his, competition.
cronies.
It was
Yep, and then
in
boom,
fact, it was
Federal
only
Reserve.
hours before he got on there that they didn't. In fact, the staff didn't even know that he wasn't coming on because that's how last minute he decided not to go on.
Yep, and J.P. Morgan and Jacob Astor, who was the richest man in the world at the time, were the two funders of the Wardenclyffe Tower that Tesla was developing, which was going to be the quote-unquote free energy tower. So then, and also all the opposition to the Federal Reserve was also on that boat that J.P. Morgan was supposed to go to. All the wealthy bankers that would be able to oppose the Federal Reserve, and then they all die. Boom, Federal Reserve comes out. J.P. Morgan pulls the other half of the funding of the Wardenclyffe Tower. We don't ever get Tesla's tower for quote-unquote free energy. And then you get Federal Reserve notes. They end up removing the gold, all of that, just like overnight, probably coincidence, though.
Yeah, definitely checking all those things. Check into Rockefeller and the textbooks. Another thing. People have been thinking we've been teaching the same thing forever. It's just not the case. Somebody asked, what is the movie you're talking about with the 12 people? Oh, yeah, we played it. That was the video that he was talking about. Right? The video about
the clip I saw it.
But wait, oh yeah, that's the clip you saw about the 12 scientists.
They cite a specific crew and mission or something. So I'm sure you could try to fact check it.
Okay.
Going back to that history books, they've taught the same history forever. It's a ridiculous notion. I've actually bought an encyclopedia set from the 80s, full set. Everyone thought I was crazy, but you can't retroactively edit printed books.
Well, be careful. Some people think you can, but go ahead.
I bought
Mandela.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now.
No, let's not. Sorry, go ahead.
I saw the cornucopia. Okay, I remember the cornucopia.
We all do.
It's ridiculous. Anyway,
how about Lucy saying it? Anyway, Lucy has some explaining to do. Obvious.
Yeah, obviously. I bought a history book, I think from the 40s, that used to be given out in elementary schools. Gave that to my son, and that's just I believe that modern history books can't think of anything better than fake and gay. Everything is fake and gay until proven otherwise in a court of the internet.
Yeah,
in the court of the internet. Totally, dude. One thing else that's crazy: if you find history books or even encyclopedia type books pre-1910, something about that year, pre-1910, almost all these textbooks said that there was an ancient advanced civilization in the United States prior to the Native Americans.
Yeah, I just read that the other day.
Dude, up to the early 1900s, this was like a well-known and accepted idea. That's pretty crazy because now you're totally gaslit if you even suggest the idea that someone was here before the Native Americans.
Well, yeah, you get into the mud flood as well about other advanced civilization. It's like there's a lot of different rabbit holes that one could go down that I have gone down.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's kind of clear, what should be clear is that what they tell you is just what they want you to believe. I mean, and that it's what's easiest for control. It's how you indoctrinate people, and we see what that does. Many people will not even get off of those things that they believe because school taught them, even though we've discovered down the road that those aren't all true. So let me see if there's any more questions here. Otherwise, we can go. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything else you want to mention, Mark. Excited to go?
Just, thank you for inviting me into this chat. The community is not aware of me. I don't know why they would be. It'd be kind of creepy if they were, to be honest. It's a great group of people, regardless of our differing beliefs. There's a lot of things that we find common ground on. And I'm very, very excited to be a part of this. This is huge, and I can't wait to meet all of you for the first time in Chile, aside from our trip to the North Pole earlier this summer.
It was fun. And then remember we had to do all the backwards talking and the backwards walking so that the sun went the right direction.
That was rough. That took a lot of different attempts.
A lot of takes.
This is a deep cut reference. It's like the bookstore scene from the movie Top Secret.
That's one of the greatest movies. Oh yeah, the greatest movie.
One of my favorite movies of all time. Val Kilmer's first one.
Yeah.
That bookstore scene was all
souvenirs, novelties, party tricks.
That's crazy.
You haven't seen that movie?
Our inspiration for the Arctic trip. Yes.
Yeah, we had to study it around the clock. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the whole backwards scene. That's actually a great scene. Okay, I remember that now.
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
But you could clearly tell what was going on. Where do I find Flat Earth Gang? That is on Clubhouse, and you search for, what is it called, a house, or you search for a room?
Yeah, you type in the search bar and you just type in Flat Earth Gang, and it'll pop right up. And we're in there every day, guys. We are in there every day.
Okay, we've got. I look forward to future conversations. Seeing this is hopefully if you. Oh, sorry. I think that Jeran, did you know how at one point you guys were, what's it? The Globebusters intro, spiritual wise. What? Jeran, did you know?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Help a brother out. Kofi.com/Witsit.
Yeah, help Witsit out. I think other than that, so just so people know, we will be able to be tracked. I'm going to just show that map, even though it's a globe, because we have no options. They didn't have a flat Earth map, unfortunately. But it'll be on the website. So you go to the final experiment, which is is it underscore or hyphen? Hyphen. Thank you. The hyphen final hyphen experiment, and you'll get to see where we all are. We're all going to be carrying GPS trackers, and I thought that this was a link I could find here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So this is the site. I'm not going to show you the site though, because I'm not supposed to show you that yet. It'll be on our website though, or on that TFE website, and you'll be able to track us. Now I can't find it. Didn't he put it? Oh, right here. Okay, good. So this is the map, and we'll basically, each one you can see our little, what are they called?
Avatars.
Avatars, thank you. Let me put that on there. I'm just not going to show you the website. Make sure it looks good. Not show that. But it is, I guess where we first saw it being used is that guy who's supposedly traveling right now in Antarctica has the same thing going. Let's go like that. There, nobody can see that. All right. So this is the globe version. Like I said, there is no flat Earth map that they could put it on. So you'll see that it's already got us all lined up where we all are. So there's McKeegan over here in the UK, and then here's all of us. And then as we travel, you'll be able to track us on here as we travel down to here. Oh, we're going to start here, and then we'll go down to here. And then from there, we go to Antarctica, and I believe you can click this to see. Oh, so basically, it'll just basically keep track of us. And then when we get down here, you'll be able to zoom in closer and see us all eventually down here. And like we said, we'll do a newspaper in Punta Arenas, do a live stream from there, and then hopefully we can do a live stream from Antarctica. Do you think we'll be the first ones ever? Has there ever been a
live stream?
Yeah.
I think there's scientific ones. I think we'd be the first real, I guess, amateur live stream. I mean, we're not scientists. I'm sure people have gone on like Instagram Live, but we, Duffy was telling me we have our own dedicated Starlink.
Right.
So,
would you say this, Mark?
Are scarce down there, so hopefully we can.
Would you say that the flat earthers in the world who have gone the closest to 90 degrees would be Austin, I, and Liz?
I mean, I'd say so.
See, we have some. See, how about that? Or at least get our names in some sort of record book.
Yeah.
Except for the people that kept going, and they live out there now, and they're just like chilling.
We don't count them until we find them. They don't get to be
living
counted.
to 350. You know what I'm saying? Floating
with the maglev trains
down there preserves you.
Oh,
didn't you just get past and you didn't know? It's just palm trees on the other side, bro.
Iron Republic said people actually fly down there. That they have suits that you can fly in. It's Iron Republic.
What?
Said. Yeah.
Yes.
It's on the other side though.
You ever heard of the Iron Republic?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, we got some stuff to give you on the flight. You got to read. That's just some good audiobooks. You can. That's on my channel. You can listen to Iron Republic read.
Dude, I swear, if we don't have good internet though.
Yeah, that's gonna be probably a problem.
Bro, sometimes you get on that plane, bro, take off, and you do not have Wi-Fi. Whew, it's just like a blow. It's a blow, man. I cannot handle it.
One thing I do have to recommend to everyone. I just got mine in the mail. Get an eye mask, because if it's 24 hours of sun, sleeping is not going to be easy.
Okay.
Also be helpful on the plane.
Think about that.
Touché.
Eye mask. All right. Anything else we need to think about? Oh, I want to check these one more time and just make sure there's nothing else on here.
No, just ponder existence. That's all.
Wait, zoom in right there. Where your mouse is.
Where are we talking?
Kofi.com/Witsit right there. You see that?
Where are you looking?
Dude, did I just actually do that? Did I actually just get you all the... I said Kofi.com/Witsit. That's not on the map of the Earth, bro.
Right.
I don't think.
Not yet.
I actually can't even see... Wait, yeah, exactly. Let's get that done. I can't even see your screen, by the way.
Why not?
Yeah, what is the role with claiming Antarctic territory? Could you perhaps claim?
We're supposed to claim it.
A
actually,
piece of it?
Yeah, we're actually supposed to claim it.
We're supposed to be putting a flag in it for these Flyer Social over in UK.
Although the flag better get here before Monday, or else you're not getting the flag posted.
Yeah, but what are the rules? Can I put a flag in there?
Yeah,
I know we can't
like
leave
spaces,
anything. You can't say fake and gay on Antarctica. It's very
not at all.
You have to say false and homosexual.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll make a note. I didn't know that.
Yo, I can totally see
Write
it
that
being very woke down there.
Which is strange because it's the whitest place on Earth. So
it's true, but not anymore. They're going to rainbow color the ice.
Yeah,
so that it's more acceptable.
We got a major demographic shift to Antarctica.
No, we're taking the rainbow back. We're done with this. This is God's promise. We're taking the rainbow back. None of that. They need to find their own. I'm sorry. We're taking the rainbow back. Y'all can't have it. It's a done.
Well, they technically never had it. You know, I guess
they've never had it.
I guess no one ever told Antarctica that it's extremely xenophobic to not have open borders. So we're gonna have to figure this out.
Gotta be, yeah. They gotta build a wall. Oh wait, they already have one. Never mind. They got an ice wall down there. I saw people spiraling about that. Like, get over it. There is a wall of ice that is the shoreline of Antarctica. At least like
the highest average elevation in the world.
Shelf, it's literally there. Like
it's literally there. People lose their minds.
Dude, we should get to see this though, right? Like, I hope that there's not lots of clouds. Think about how cool it would be, and we can actually film this.
Yeah,
like an aerial shot, right?
Yep.
Yo, hopefully there aren't clouds, and we get to just fly in, and you're gonna hit the coastline. You're gonna get to see this expanse, and then we need to run the infrared. We need to run every different type. Like, you need to have every flight earther at the least, right? Needs to have their cameras filming the actual approaching it, because I've never seen anything really like that. I've seen one where they were kind of landing where we're going, like right when they were about to get there. Specifically, I saw a few seconds of a video. I think it was actually from ALE. But like legit, like long duration shots in the distance would be fire. And then one more thing I haven't looked into yet, right? But like, what exactly is the charging situation? Like, there's generators only, and if that's the case, then like, is that true? It's only generators, and like, so are you permitted a certain charger? But like, even your block has to be charged at some point.
Bring two chargers.
This is a humongous solar charger that I bought at the maximum capacity at the highest that I can. It's supposed to be able to charge 4.
Oh, solar charger, duh.
Yeah.
That'll work too.
So it does take a while. So like, I would want to like power this up, say in Chile, right before we leave, right? Like, and have its most. But I've had this on all day charging, and I've had it plugged into my phone, and we're down to like the last light. But I have used it since 9 a.m. this morning. I charged my AirPod with my AirPod case, and I've been charging my phone on it all day just to test it out to see if it can withstand. So far so good, because it does take a little bit longer when it comes to actually solar charging. But if the sun's supposed to be up there the whole entire time, then it should be charging all the time, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
Amazon.
I was checking this. So, have you seen the videos of the plane landing on the ice?
I've seen several.
Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's probably the best part. And I think that the fact that the flight is going to be fun, just getting to see. I've never seen an expanse as big as the United States of ice, or bigger than the United States.
No, it's like cool regardless.
Yeah, regardless. Let's look at, that's the plane coming in and landing. It's just a 757 that lands right on the ice. Let me bring it up here, if I can find the browser. There we go. Oh, get there quick. Get there quick. I'll have to rewind a little bit. There we go. So that's it. And that's the plane that we actually will be flying on. It's the 757 that is owned by ALE. And suppose they put the landing strip right in between these mountains so that there's no crosswind. And it comes on in, and it's going to land right on the ice, which is just crazy. I heard that it takes like 5 people 48 hours to prep the runway for one plane landing. They do it, like rollers and all kinds of things they have to roll out. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to being cold, but I guess I'll just get over it. We'll have to deal with that. And thank you for the eye mask idea. That's going to be helpful too. All right, let's just say
at least for the flight. Yeah,
let's at least say our goodbyes here. Lisbeth, what do you got to say to people? Do you have any final words, or else we will skedaddle?
Yeah. Check us out on Clubhouse. I look very much forward to being in Antarctica. Also tonight, if you guys want to tune in, I will be over in the house called The Painful Truth for the Conspiracy Cookout with the Tinfoil Family. We are going to do a little bit of an Antarctica section just to kind of ask some last minute questions about the trip. And we will be on around 10 p.m. So come hang out with your favorite conspiracy cousins. Sweet.
Mark, go ahead, say your piece. Any final words?
I'd said goodbye earlier when I thought we were actually finishing, but I just to reiterate, thank you so much for welcoming me, and I'm very excited, and I can't wait to meet all of you.
Okay, great. And what's it?
Fine. Yeah, I'll try to do a stream maybe tonight, but definitely before we leave, I'll do a stream and chop it up with everyone or whatever. Take some requests, blah blah blah. I would appreciate. I tried to just make sure I didn't start any type of GoFundMe or anything like that, but I did just launch a thing because turns out I do need a little help. Probably, but So anyway, yeah, it's kofi.com/whatsit. But yeah, I think it's cool. Everyone just pause on the spiraling and stuff like that, and just know if you're contacting me with that, you're gonna miss me because I'm not. I just think it's super lame. So yeah, I think it should be cool, and hopefully we have some other announcements coming up. I'll just save that. So stay tuned to my channel, and I'll try to stream. And that's about it. I think it's cool. I think I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Where's the debate with Witsit and Dave? Well, it's on his channel. I've seen it there. And you have it on your channel or no?
No, but you can just literally just type it. There's no reason for me to put it.
Just type in flat Earth. If you type in flat Earth, it'll come up. That's what's crazy about it. It's the very first thing. But YouTube doesn't.
Well, it used to be the first thing.
Now it's second.
It's as if someone manually reviewed and they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, that's true, man.
Dave said he humiliated him, but did he? We should bump this down a little bit.
Knock it down. And it's crazy. I still think the fact that they hide things in your own history is insane. Very insane. All right. I believe that's it. And remember to track us. You're going to go to the final experiment. If you want to follow me, I'm kind of at t.me/Jerants. So Jerants. That is where I'm going to be posting stuff as often as I can. So you can follow that again. That's t.me/Jerants. And become a VIP if you want to talk to these guys tomorrow. If you have questions and want to be in a little bit more of a private setting, go to whop.com/Jeranism and join that for $15. And you get to hang out tomorrow. You get to hang out tonight if you want. We have a class starting in 30 minutes. Yep. All right. I think that's it, guys.
I thought you were plugging the Cardi B song. I'm like, at the end of this whole.
No, I'm not doing that. All right, we'll listen to that song that somebody sent me. Thank you again, John, for sending that. And we will head out of here. Till next time, guys. This has been Jeranism. Wish us luck. Pray for us and all that fun stuff. We'll see you from down south. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Thanks.
Frost on their mouth, packing gear, prep for the cold quest. Will the sun sleep or spin? That's the test.
Later.
Later.
Oops.
Bye, everyone.
Later, Mark.
We got nothing to prove. Gonna test the sun where the world goes white. Will it set or circle through day and night? Explorers bound for the edge of the freeze. Antarctic secret we aim to seize. Rolling in a land where silence speaks loud. Wind whips fast, ice cracks proud. Courage in the chest, nerves wrapped tight. Chasing that sun in the endless night. While the rays bow down and dance around. South Pole secrets, truth unbound. Skeptics wait for the words we bring. Frozen lands where legends sing. 3 mad heroes in the southern scene. Tracking that glow where shadows lean. Frozen ground neath heavy tread. Searching for answers in the icy spread. Gonna test the sun where the world goes white. Will it set or circle through day and night? Explorers bound for the edge of the freeze. Antarctica's secret we aim to seize. Cause 3 brave souls heading down to 80 South. Edge of the world with frost on their mouth. Packing gear, prep for the cold quest. Will the sun sleep or spin? That's the test. Antarctic freeze ain't no regular chill. Heartbeat sink at the end of the thrill. Suns dance, we tracking lights groove. Scientific mission, we got nothing to prove. Gonna test the sun where the world goes white. Will it set or circle through day and night? Explorers bound for the edge of the freeze. Antarctica's secret we aim to seize. Rolling in a land where silence speaks loud. Wind whips fast, ice cracks proud. Courage in the chest, nerves wrapped tight. Chasing that sun in the endless night. While the rays bow down and dance around. South Pole secrets, truth unbound. Skeptics wait for the words we bring. Frozen lands where legends sing. 3 mad heroes in the southern scene. Tracking that glow where shadows lean. Frozen ground neath heavy tread. Searching for answers in the icy spread. gonna test the sun where the world goes white. Will it set or circle through day and night? Explorers bound for the edge of the freeze. Antarctica's secret we aim to seize.